Tommy Kraft and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
Sure, the voice of an AL.com reporter talking with Paul Feinbaum yesterday about this Brandon Miller situation. Tommy, what do you want to bet Paul Feinbaum's DMs are nutso right now after what's been going on?
Oh, I imagine his phones have been busy, like you said, his DMs on Twitter. But everyone's trying to understand this case as we get going here on Thursday morning on the Morning Rush. I tuned in and watched the tail end of that Alabama game with South Carolina last night on the road, and not surprised to see how close it was. Not surprised to see that game took an extra 5 minutes in overtime. Was surprised to see Brandon Miller have a career-high 41 last night as I watched it unfold, and his final points were the difference in the ball game. So clearly all of the distraction and all of the conversation that's going on for the last 48 hours caused this team to in I think most people's estimate, take a step back to be that close to losing at South Carolina. But Brandon Miller found a way last night to do something he's never done before in a college basketball game. That was top 40 points.
Including hitting the game winner in overtime last night. So he was mightily impressive on the court. Again, plenty of reaction to this. You're welcome to jump in. 877-377-6963. We're going to hear from Gary Parrish. We're going to hear from Nate Oates. We're going to hear from Greg McElroy, who had some thoughts on this yesterday. Everyone has an opinion on this. Sure seems like, based on the feedback that I've received and I've seen on social media, that Alabama fans are staunch that Brandon did nothing wrong.
Well, he's their guy, so not surprising that it would come to that. I'm trying to piece it together in my mind, because when you hear who was the reporter from AL.com that was with Feinbaum? I didn't catch her name, but you hear that the fact that the gun was driven to what became the scene of the crime by Brandon Miller. It was in the back seat, and apparently he never touched it. That seems like we're skirting a very fine line in the legal system. I guess you'd have to prove that Brandon Miller knew what the gun was going to be used for. I need someone really from the prosecutor's side to explain to me why charges aren't being brought, because it seems like, Ty, if it was you or I or anyone else, any other common Joe out here that had done what Brandon Miller would have done and drove the weapon that ended up being the weapon used in a murder minutes later, I think we would be in jail.
Mm-hmm. Here's what his attorney said, and I'm forgetting his name, the Jim Standridge guy. This is Brandon Miller's attorney talking about the text that Miller received when he was already on the way to pick up his teammate, Darius Miles. But I just can't get over this. The text that he actually received, according to Detective Culpepper and Mary Turner, and I'm going to read it. I'm not going to read the full because it's got a derogatory slur in there. Said, on the day of the shooting at 1:38, saying, I need my joint, which is another slang word for gun, a racist term, starts with N, everyone knows what that means, just a faking. Faking, according to Urban Dictionary, means threaten. So he basically said, in easy terms, I feel threatened right now, I need my gun. Again, that is Darius Miles' text to Brandon Miller at 1:38 in the morning. And again, according to Jim Standridge, Miller's attorney, he received that while he was already on the way to pick him up. So my question is, it seemed like they'd been communicating based on the reports that Miles was wanting to be picked up earlier. And then I guess according to that he just sent that text. And according to Standridge, Miller did not know that the gun was in the back of his vehicle under the clothes. But if you get that text, now you know it's there, right? And now you know that your teammate, after 1 o'clock in the morning, says he feels threatened. Well, if you feel threatened, Tommy, what do you often do? You retaliate, right? Is that a thought process that holds water this morning?
That you would retaliate?
If you feel threatened.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're going to defend yourself. If I feel threatened, I'm going to find a way to, at least in my mind, defend myself.
Okay. All right. I can't get over that text again. That's where I keep getting hung up on this whole situation on what's going on right now with Brandon Miller.
I was trying to make sense of, the news came out about 3-4 hours before game time last night, late afternoon, that Brandon Miller would play. And, you can say what you want, but there's a lot of smart people at the university level involved in this. And I promise you, this decision went far beyond Nate Oates or Greg Byrne. This went to the top of the food chain at the University of Alabama and maybe beyond the president and the chancellor. Would you agree a lot of smart people had their eyes on this decision in Birmingham or in Tuscaloosa yesterday?
I don't know how you'd be able to dispute that idea.
And somehow they all came to at least a consensus or a conclusion that he should play or should be allowed to play. That leads me to believe that there's something about the legalese of this that we don't understand. That we need further explanation and understanding, because I can't imagine that many smart people collaborate on a decision and remove the optics and the public perception. Just let's talk legalese for a little bit, which we're not qualified to do. These people were getting plenty of legal advice from university attorneys and outside counsel and Brandon Miller's attorney, and they came to the conclusion that it was okay for him to play. I can't imagine. Now it happens every day in Washington where smart people make dumb decisions. But I can't imagine with the public scrutiny and the microscopic view of this matter from a national perspective, this many smart people made a dumb decision. So while it appears very insensitive and it's hard to understand on the surface that he would have been allowed to play last night, there's something to me that we're not tying together from the legal standpoint. I'd sure like to hear from the prosecuting side more in this case and maybe the police side of it as to why Brandon Miller is not going to face any charges as it appears right now. Maybe the grand jury changes that, but that's the part I just can't understand. I got to believe there's more to the story than what we're understanding, Ty, 2 days into this.
And I guess in the coming days we'll hear more about it. As I said, Alabama fans, for the most part, have been very, very defending of Brandon Miller, and that's, I think, not just the only fan base that would do that with the player. I'd be curious. Now, I never want an Arkansas player or anyone like this to experience this because a murder was involved, but I would be curious the response from Razorback fans here listening. I know there's plenty of responses on this. Again, you can call or text in this morning, 877-377-6963. I've got about 6 pages of notes on this I'd like to unpack and some audio I'd like to discuss as well. We've got plenty to discuss this morning here on Recruiting Thursday.
And we're brought to you this morning by the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue. We're getting to fishing season right now, and it is time to load up the tackle box and get ready. If you're going to the White River for a big trophy brown or a big rainbow, or you're headed to the lake for some cold water bass fishing here early in the season before the spawn, you need to take the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue along with you. It can be worked in a heavy current or slow current. It'll suspend and stay in the strike zone longer and allows you to catch more fish. Find it at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. It's the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
JT asked a good question, Tom. He says, with all this going on, can you really believe there are smart people at Alabama?
I understand that, but there was a lot of people, I imagine, had some input on the decision for Brandon Miller and even Nate Oates to coach. I mean, now that was more of a public relations disaster they were trying to avert. And I watched his press conference from following the game last night, and they're still trying to clean that mess up.
More of the Morning Rush coming up.
Even though you try to be, Ty, you just can't quite get there.
Well,
you
I
have
just probably can't get there. But you shouldn't try either.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is Butch Butch at Whitspring, your authorized tracker and Mercury dealer. February the 23rd to the 25th will be our in-house boat show with a great inventory of Regency and Sun Tracker pontoons, bass boats by Nitro, Tracker, and Triton, plus deck boats and runabouts by Tahoe, all powered by Mercury, with gift cards ranging from $300 to $1,000 with purchase. Or how about upgrading your current boat with a new Mercury outboard? This will be a great time to meet the new owners of Whitspring with their commitment to still provide the same great service and custom rigging. That's Whitspring, 823 North 11th and Fort Smith.
Coke Zero Sugar tastes so good, people will take a taste any way they can. You never know when your best friend will lunge across a table and grab for it. A stranger could subtly swipe it, or your little brother might just ask for one too many sips. So no matter what you're doing, or who you're with, when you're enjoying a Coke Zero Sugar, be ready to protect it from takers at all times. Because one sip begs the question, is this the best Coke ever? Take a taste and see.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howell in Van Buren.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
I may not know much about my SUV and what makes it go, but I do believe in history. And if you can be local and in business since 1984 and have the reputation for good, honest service Jody's has, that's all I need, with pickup and delivery and free shuttle service and coupons to save me money. Jody's. My SUV goes to Jody's for everything.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we can do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials. Tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbor since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Save big when you shop at Metters Lumber True Value and get great deals during our home improvement sale. Pick up a 3-piece brush set by Master Painter for only $13.99. That's $5 off the original price. Upgrade your home's lighting with a 2-pack of GE's Direct Connect smart bulbs for only $23.99. Get $17 off Master Mechanic 20-volt cordless drill kit. Head over to Metters Lumber True Value and take advantage of these prices while supplies last.
Have a loan with a variable or balloon interest rate and worried about your cost rising? Interest rates are rising and you may have a problem. Farm Credit can fix that. Talk to Farm Credit about locking in a long-term fixed rate for the life of your loan. Farm Credit's long-term fixed rates offer peace of mind in changing economic times. We're offering the longest terms in the ag industry. Talk to Farm Credit today. Find an office near you at myaglender.com. Equal housing lender.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Outlet to Black ahead to Council. Two-hand throw down Ricky. Mike White says, I got to have a timeout.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
Plenty of text already on our first segment on the Brandon Miller situation. We'll take more of those throughout the morning at 877-377-6963. Also got a few holidays and a few other things to get into coming up, Tommy.
Hey, last night I needed a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas. I stayed at the Inn at the Mill, and I think when you stay at the Inn at the Mill, if you're looking for a place to lay your head down in Northwest Arkansas, you're going to like the experience. It's a unique place located off I-49 at the Johnson exit. You've seen it. It's been there for years. The thing Ty and I like, and everyone with our company likes, is its location. And above that, I like the personal touch that Jennifer and the gals at the front desk and Jesse and the whole crew give you, because they know who you are. They save your preferences in the computer. When you call, it's a hassle-free reservation process, a hassle-free check-in process. The staff's just friendly, and they go above and beyond. In fact, they've been voted online as #1 for customer interaction for over 11 years in a row right now. So you're going to like it. Great internet service, larger rooms, plenty of workspace. They got suites close to the AMP, Crystal Bridges, close to campus to go to the games. It's really, truly in the heart of Northwest Arkansas and Johnson at exit 69 off I-49. Hey, call the ladies at the front desk. They'll get you fixed up with a reservation, 479-443-1800. Be thinking about those summer dates, concert dates, getaways. I know we got a lot of people listening in other parts of the state that come to Northwest Arkansas to get away for a day or two. You can go to inatthemill.com to see what I'm talking about, or again, 479-443-1800 to reserve your stay at the Inn at the Mill.
You mentioned concerts. Is there an AMP concert that you've circled just yet? I know there's some that have been announced.
There's some good ones coming up. Yeah. Dave Matthews Band's coming up. A few acts probably don't meet my musical taste, but I haven't circled one yet. But I went to 3 or 4 there, like 3 last year. Darius Rucker, James Taylor, and there was another one we went to. But, yeah, I'm sure I'll be making my way to the AMP. That's always a good time.
Kenny Chesney was pretty fun last year. That's the first concert I've ever been to at the AMP. And I will say this, and I was texting a friend about this yesterday. I just don't go to many concerts, Tommy. This will be the first year in a while that I'll go to at least 2 in 1 year. I typically maybe make 1 a year, and that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, I like my concerts, and I'll probably get 1 or 2 in, probably 1 or 2 at the AMP. And usually we go to Tulsa or Memphis or Little Rock or somewhere regionally and catch one as well. So.
All right,
we'll see. That'd be a fun thing to do this summer.
Yep. Back to the Brandon Miller story. This is a text from Heisenberg, and I don't know if Heisenberg is a lawyer, or if he's just a guy that watches Law & Order, or Matlock, as I learned yesterday. It all comes down to the rule of law and how the prosecutor could build a case against Miller. Miller is on the fine line between being a witness or a suspect. That is going on. Now, one of the things that I had a question about is his cooperation. It seems like, based on certain things I've read, that Miller has been forthcoming and cooperative. Would that help in all of this in terms of what he's perceived as, Tommy, and the fact that he wasn't at least leading people to believe withholding information, the fact that he seemed to be willing to talk to police about this and stuff like that? Is that something that plays a role in this?
I don't know, and I don't know how much of that's used as a negotiating tactic when you get, you watch these police crime shows where, first 48, they bring someone in. Well, if you'll cooperate now, we'll give you a better deal. I don't know if that's truly how it works. I think if they got the evidence and the goods on you, they don't care. Clearly, there's not enough evidence to charge Brandon Miller with a crime, or I got to believe it would have been done. Now, there's the cynical side of everyone that says, well, he's the star player at Alabama, and that's why this is the way it is. I don't believe that. I just got to believe at the end of the day, state's attorney general, prosecuting attorneys, police detectives would not stand idly by and let someone that was, they had the evidence on that they could say was involved in the process of a murder. I don't know what words to put, that they would let go uncharged because he could knock down a 22-foot jumper. I just can't believe that would be the way it would go.
Matt texted in and wants to know, when did Brandon Miller read the text? And again, the text, and I'll shorten it up. This is from Detective Culpepper's testimony, and also Mary Turner, who's Darius Miles' defense attorney, that Miles texted Miller, "I need my joint," which is another word for gun. And based on what I've read, it seems like that he received that text when he was on the way to the nightclub to pick up Miller. And I don't know about you, there's some text, and I'm just being honest here, there's some text that I don't read in the car because I'm driving. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And so, again, I don't know, as Matt said, when did he get the text or whatever. And the idea that And to be perfectly honest about this again, I've driven my buddy's car when there's been a gun in there that I had no idea about. He had a concealed carry in his console, and I had no idea about it. He just, hey, man, I need you to take my car. And then driving with them later, he showed it to me. I was like, you had that in the car when you let me drive? And he's like, yeah. I was like, what's don't do that again. Like that's happened to me before. So
well, so if you have a concealed carry permit, that's something you always worry about, because it'd be easy for like my wife to get in the car, go to the grocery store or something, and if got pulled over, that could be a big problem.
Yeah.
Part of being a gun owner is being a responsible gun owner. So I get what you're saying there, because if Ty, you don't have a concealed permit, right?
Nope.
But your buddies do. Well, that could be problematic for you, particularly if you had a police officer that would want to find you in unlawful possession of a firearm. So totally get where you're coming from there. Is that the case Brandon Miller was in? I haven't heard anything that tells me Brandon Miller has a concealed carry permit. Now, the thing to do is if you find yourself in that, don't conceal it. Put the dadgum gun up on the dashboard if you get pulled over. It's concealed at that point.
Mm-hmm. Dennis in Springdale texts in. He says, at best, this has sent a message that star athletes at Alabama will be shielded from bad decisions. If this occurred with 2 regular students on this campus, the one that brought him the gun would be treated differently, in Dennis's opinion. I think a lot of people hold that same opinion, Tommy.
Yeah, I think we, and again, we're, I don't want to say outsiders, and I hate the fact that just because what team or university you're a fan of changes your opinion on something that ended in someone losing their life. I mean, that to me, and I guess that's just the cynical. We all have a dividing line somewhere, either in our own homes, towns, states, countries. Everybody seems to be divided on one issue or another. The fact that he's a great player on your team shouldn't change your opinion about the facts of what happened here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a text from Jamie May. Regardless if Miller was actually involved in the murder, other than driving, or there's a gun in the car used to murder someone, a mother was killed, I would expect Arkansas, in his opinion, to suspend Miller until the investigation cleared him. Accessory of the murder is the case until it's cleared. That's Jamie May's thoughts on this.
Well, we'll continue to read those texts and get your thoughts. We want to hear from you as well. You can call us this morning at 877-377-6963. It's going to be a big weekend at Oaklawn coming up. Big day Saturday. The Rebel Stakes come up Saturday, $1 million Grade 2 stakes that will have a big part in determining horses moving forward for the Kentucky Derby. In fact, 100 Kentucky Derby qualifying points, 50 of them to the winner, will be handed out Saturday. The Honeybee and the Carousel Stakes are also running on Saturday, so it's a great day to be at Oaklawn. Can't be there, or even if you're going, download the Oaklawn Anywhere app. Makes it easy to watch and wager on all the races and get some free handicapping advice as well. Download it at the Apple App Store or go to oaklawnanywhere.com. Use the promo code RUSH23 and get a $150 sign-up bonus. That's RUSH23 for your free $150. Go to oaklawnanywhere.com for all the details.
All right, we'll talk to Rich in Davenport and get some audio about this next.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is former Arkansas Razorback, J.J. Meadows.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I Think You've Got It. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
And this is it. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center. And for a real hedge against rising prices, ask about our exclusive Meineke Miles service contracts and prepaid maintenance products. They could save you another 20%. If you're ready to save some real money on a quality used vehicle and experience a better way to drive, call, click, or come by today. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, the home of inflation elimination, just north of Phoenix on Towson or online at rathauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning, Tommy, and I had a complete brain lock.
Smith lobs to Council. Wow, what a play. Council with a throwdown off the lob for Nick.
Watch the Morning Rush on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Just search Hit That Line.
All right, back here on the Morning Rush, we're going to talk with Richard Davenport coming up in just a bit. Whole Hog Sports Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Get his thoughts on Brandon Miller and some other Arkansas recruiting news coming up.
Need a fence, you need to call our buddies at the Fence Man. Or if you need new gates or powered automatic gates, call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. The Fence Man does it all. Large commercial jobs with hundreds or thousands of feet of fence, or small residential repairs on your wood privacy fence, vinyl fencing, or commercial or residential chain link fence. They even do custom wrought iron installation. So anything involving fencing, the Fence Man can do it. 479-782-3936. 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Richard, there's not exactly prior precedence with what's going on with Brandon Miller. I know some people have pointed to Dave Bliss and everything, but, I mean, how does this affect Alabama recruiting moving forward as long as Nate Oates is still their head coach?
Obviously, it's not good. I think first person you think about is a mom of recruits, and anytime there's negativity around a program, especially like this, it can kind of definitely hurt. I mean, I think some people will say, they're doing the right thing, and other people, it seems like, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know all the ins and outs of this story. I've seen bits and pieces and read bits and pieces, but anytime you have somebody with a loss of life because of a gun, moms are going to be a little uneasy about it. Not only just basketball. I mean, I think you're also talking about potentially other sports within the program, within the Alabama athletic department, because they're looking at the AD for leadership too. Some people are, and thinking, well, he's kind of dropped the ball. So that I think hurts all the programs a little bit. How much each individual person, each individual family is going to have their own opinions, whether it's not very favorable, or it may be let this run its course and let's see what happens with the judicial system. So I think overall, though, I don't think it's a good thing.
Richard, you talk to parents every single week. I know that NIL has taken a new part in the recruiting process, but when you speak to adults about their son potentially going off to a university, in some cases hundreds and thousands of miles away, how important is the conversation still to, I want to be able to trust this man, this grown adult, to mentor and be a father-like figure to my son in some cases?
Oh, that's priceless. It is absolutely priceless. If they don't trust that head coach and the coaches within the staff, it's especially that's your most precious commodity there. I mean, that your son or your daughter, you're always kind of leery about them leaving, and it's a very traumatic experience when it first happens. Especially you say the firstborn. And you have 3 other kids at home. To have that one leave, you have to have that trust that coach and that coaching staff's going to be, an extension of what you are, what you preach, and what you teach at your household. So that right there, I think, if there's probably one thing that really impacts recruiting as much as anything else, it is that trust in that head coach and that coaching staff.
All the conversation and all of the focus has been put on Brandon Miller the last 24 hours, 48 hours. But what also hasn't probably been discussed enough since all this happened, January 15th, is Nate Oates did recruit at least 2 other players that right now have serious charges, including murder, that were on his team. So, I mean, regardless of Brandon Miller and scoring 41 points last night, Richard, there's clearly, and I know people disappoint you with their actions every day, but we're talking about someone losing their life here. That's part of the process that has to be looked at somewhere down the line, is how did Nate Oates miss in the evaluation that would bring someone into the program that could commit an act like this?
Yeah, it's truly a fine line. You want to, there's you want kids that have good character, come from good backgrounds, and I don't know all the ins and outs of this story as far as what kind of background the kids are coming from. But at the same time, you have to be careful when you take chances on kids, because something like this could potentially happen. When I say take a chance on a kid that maybe has had some issues in high school and had some character flaws, and you feel like that you can work with this kid, and there's a lot of success stories with that too. I mean, we've seen it at the University of Arkansas. So it's a fine line, but at the same time, when it goes bad, and it goes bad like this, it obviously is going to reflect negatively towards your program, and only time will tell how things are going to look in the next 3 or 4 years during as far as future classes and stuff like that. But there will be some families that will back off of the program. There's no doubt about that, and there'll be some that will trust the coach and his staff and continue to be recruited and continue to sign with them.
What was your reaction when the news came out yesterday afternoon that Brandon Miller would play last night?
I had mixed emotions. I'm a firm believer in so a lot of the information I'm getting, to be honest with you, just because I've just been busy with other stuff, is on our message board, and on our message board, it is. I'd say the vast majority of people were, saying that he should not be playing. He probably should be charged, but at the same time, we're a law-abiding type country, as far as we let the law stand, and if the DA, the prosecutor, doesn't have a case of charging the young man, I mean, it's just something I struggle with, and again, I don't know enough about it, but on the outside looking in, just a little bit that I know, it does look a little I don't know, doesn't look good.
From the optics standpoint, is this something that coaches in this league and outside this league will negatively recruit against Nate Oates in Alabama?
I'm sure some will, but you know what? I think a lot of times coaches, I think the good coaches kind of let it play out, and I don't think you really have to mention it because this is so well publicized. It'd be hard to believe that people are not at least aware of it. People like myself not knowing all the details, so I'm a little kind of reluctant to have a strong feeling either way, even though I can understand why some people think that he shouldn't be playing, and some people think he should be charged as an accessory to murder. So it's something that we haven't seen in quite some time. There's no doubt about that.
When you look at the basketball side of things, because I think we've been pretty concrete on the court side and that, how does this change the outlook for Alabama trying to win the league, trying to couple all the distractions, in addition to Nashville, how the SEC tournament sets up? What does this do to the psyche of the Crimson Tide right now?
Yeah, I mean, you said it. It's a distraction, and from what I understand, what some of the crowd at South Carolina was giving Miller their thoughts about the situation, and I'm sure it wasn't pretty. So he's got to, if he continues to play, and obviously he had a very good game last night. I saw that. He's got to be extremely mentally tough, and the kids, other kids on the team, have to be that way too. It could be one of those type deals that if you're Oates, you say that it's us against the world right now. We're the only ones that believe in one another, and let's rally around each other and support one another and try to get the outside noise away from the kids, and probably encourage them not to be on social media, not to listen to the news and stuff like that too, which obviously is going to be very difficult. But hey, if I'm Brandon Miller, I'm not even touching Twitter. I mean, or any social media outlet. So, I think it's going to be tough, but I think it's doable.
So what happens Saturday? Bama narrowly escapes the worst team in the league at their place in Columbia, South Carolina last night. Had to go to overtime. What happens with the Razorbacks Saturday coming to Tuscaloosa?
Well, I think if you're Arkansas, obviously you feel pretty confident about yourself, and then Alabama, you truly don't know what their mindset's going to be like on Saturday, and we don't know going forward until it plays out. But I think if you're Coach Muss, you just worry about your team and whether he brings up what's going on. I mean, I don't know, but it's obviously out there. the kids are going to know about it. But at the same time, I think the number one thing you should do is just focus on yourself and play it out. And obviously, it could be such a distraction that, Alabama doesn't play as well as they usually do. And obviously last night seems to be part of, a little bit of that, that case, a little bit of that involved.
Richard Davenport with us here, Recruiting Thursday on the Morning Rush. Getting ready to head into high school basketball tournaments across our state, lower classifications and regionals. I know you're probably already looking at the schedule, where some of the targets are at. What are some of the places you'll be visiting next week to watch some of the better high school basketball in our state?
That's a good question. I haven't even looked at it. I'm not going to lie to you. I've been busy with a special project and just working, doing my stuff. But I usually wait. It's kind of like on Friday nights for football games. I usually wait till the day of to make the decision where I'm going. So I guess we'll find out next week.
We'll leave it there this morning, man. Good luck on that big old project, and maybe we'll hear more about it next week.
All right, guys. We'll see you.
All right, good stuff from Richard Davenport of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette and Whole Hog Sports, Tommy.
All right, we're brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. They've built over 12,000 pools, in-ground and above ground, and they're more than 40 years and installed more than 8,000 hot tubs. I have one of each at my house that we've added over the last 5 years, and we trust Burton's. My brother's got a pool going in his backyard right now. The Burtons are building that for him, and they're going to be swimming this spring at his house. And right now they have preseason specials. Fiberglass in-ground pools up to $7,000 off. Vinyl finish pools at last year's pricing plus a free upgrade to a saltwater pool. And they got many other preseason specials right now. You can still be swimming this summer with Burton Pools and Spas. So stay healthy, have fun, and spend more time together with a pool in your own backyard from Burton Pools and Spas. Burton Pools and Spas, Springdale, and in Fort Smith, and online at burtonpools.com.
So I want to come back to this Brandon Miller thing, but I do want to take a quick break from it. Tommy, you used to do play-by-play. How many years did you do that?
1991 till 2004.
Okay. Well, this was a sophomore in high school at West Catholic up in Michigan when he found out, Tommy, they were having a snow day tomorrow.
And Lusk calls the snow day. Breaking news. Lusk just called a snow day right here at the student section. Oh my goodness. Oh, I've never seen that before. Breaking news. Lusk called the snow day at Hamilton. Woo! No school for me tomorrow. And that's the end of the game. Zeros on the clock, 57-45. Lusk takes it home along with the Hawkeyes. My name is Aiden Linster, sophomore broadcaster. That is the end of the game officially.
Never get that excited during the course of a...
I probably got that excited, but probably wasn't over a snow day. That sounded to me like a young man that had a class project or a test or something coming up that he was ill-prepared for. He sounded like he had a cat that had used another one of his lives up there or something is what it sounded like to me.
I was thinking the exact same thing. So I started getting it when I entered college. Really, technology outside of email wasn't prevalent in high school for me. But once college came about, we used this service called Blackboard where you could transmit files via the website, basically. And so even on snow days, if you had something due, you were required to send it in. I guess they don't have that because I agree with you, Tommy. That sounded like a young man that wanted a snow day more than anything in his entire life because he had a project or something he had not finished to that point.
Now, you said that was somewhere up north, right?
In Michigan, West Catholic, now, the Hawkeyes.
How much snow do you have to have in Michigan to get a snow day?
That was my next question. Like 2 feet, 3 feet?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it might be more, you know. It's got to be as high as the car. I mean, I just don't imagine they call school off very often in Michigan because of a little snow.
No question.
I mean, we get a threat of snow. Hey, there might be a flurry. Well, you know, better go get our milk and bread. You know, we kind of get a little antsy around here. It must have been I hadn't followed what the weather in the last few days in Michigan have been like, but Yeah, clearly that young man probably hadn't had very many snow days, would be my guess, in Michigan.
No, and again, I thought that was great. Good for that kid who has a snow day, doesn't have to turn in his final or his midterm or whatever the case may be because of excess snow up in the Michigan area. And like you said, I don't know how much it takes, but evidently it probably takes a lot to get that done.
You know, I had the fortunate opportunity as a sophomore in high school to begin working in this industry and doing play-by-play for the school I attended. And we didn't have broadcasting classes. We didn't have, our buddy Smackdown teaches those at BB High School, but seemingly every school has some kind of media or broadcast journalism type class in high school. It didn't exist when I went. And I was very lucky to get to do that as a teenager. I wish more, and I see a lot of these live streams, and they got either local media or adults, but I really wish they'd get more students involved. Yeah, they're going to make mistakes. They're going to say something they shouldn't. Something stupid's going to come out. But, man, it would be so great for them and that experience in our industry. And I know, these are live streams that people are watching to see their kids play. They're not viewed by tens of thousands in most cases.
Yeah.
So I wish they'd get more students involved behind the mic, because that's the one thing I don't see enough of in these live streams around our state is the kids getting a chance to call the games.
We have plenty of school administrators, teachers, and various people in capacities that can make that happen. So, like Tommy said, I think we had it our senior year. I didn't do it. I was playing sports, but that would be a good recommendation on the part. And we're getting to the point where it's more prevalent now in Arkansas high schools. But I can attest that sports radio, for example, is not as what's the word I'm looking for? It's not an industry that people aren't as interested in than they were, say, even 10 years ago. And I think doing something like that might re-up that level of interest. I knew as soon as I started doing it sophomore year, that's what I wanted to do, as you probably did your sophomore year. And I think more people
knew when I spoke into a microphone my freshman year doing PA, hey, this is what I want to do. And I pursued it. And I was fortunate enough that someone at a commercial radio station would give a kid that had no right being on the radio an opportunity. Well, now we got classes and opportunity with Stream that's, the school's deal. I just wish more of the kids got a chance to call those games. And, I understand there's people in each community, and the adult wants to do it, and they've been doing it for years.
Screw the adults, man. Let the kids do it.
Come on. Give the kids a chance. I mean, it's a low leverage deal. Give them a chance.
Let the kids.
Someone hadn't given me a chance, I might not be doing this today.
Oh, and the world would come to an end if that wasn't the case. Let's talk to. Go ahead.
Someone may find their path in life. Let's give them a chance to find it.
Exactly. Let's talk to JR in Shady Grove. JR, you got some thoughts on basketball this morning. Fire away.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Good, buddy.
Hey, I don't know. I've just been on the tail end of this, but most colleges and school campuses are gun-free zones, are they not?
Yeah, Alabama's code of conduct. I had that pulled up. Let me see if I can find it again. But they have that implemented as well. The issue with that is I don't know if Miller was driving on campus. I don't know if where he was /driving was a campus zone or not.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something. This has been going on for a long time, and from the outside looking in, years ago, my brother was working in Conway, working nights, and an individual came in there and stole a candy bar and walked out without paying for it, and they stopped him, and that individual was Scottie Pippen, and the store, because of who he was, just kind of swept it under the rug, and nothing ever came about, so this situation right here, I mean, someone lost their life out of this. If you look at any court case around the country, anytime there's any type of situation like this, they're trying to end all this violence, that's going on, and anybody that participates or brings anything to the table that contributes to this violence, they're always, at least an accessory, if not, and I think that the Alabama has a big issue here they're going to have to deal with. I mean, that is, someone lost their life. I mean, we all get involved in sports. We love sports and stuff like that. But where do we get to the point where we think, okay, we need to keep the law like it is and make it applicable to everybody, regardless of what their status is.
Well, you've heard
that's how I feel about it.
You've heard the phrase "win at all costs." We all have. One of our coaches at some point in time has said that to us over the years. That phrase is just a phrase. It shouldn't actually be implemented in cases like this or in cases across the country. And that's what I feel. And JR, we appreciate the call this morning, bud. Tommy, that's what I feel is going on in this situation right now. But
let's also remember, it's not as though the person that committed the murder hadn't been charged. Let's not act like, nothing's being done to bring justice to the victim's family and for the victim themselves. There have been charges filed. There are people being held in custody awaiting, and we're finding out more as it goes along. There's clearly a very fine line on what is enough evidence to charge Brandon Miller with a crime. And while we all look at it as he drove the gun to the scene, that seems obvious to us. There's something in the evidence and that threshold of what it's got to be that's not quite connecting for the rest of the world, that in the legal world with the prosecutors and everyone else involved in this to the grand jury hasn't yet said, hey, Brandon Miller needs to be charged with accessory or whatever that charge would be. And I've got to believe that at some point we're going to get more facts and more understanding and more context and clarity, because I can't imagine all of the adults that are involved in this are all using poor judgment, every single one of them. I got to believe that there's just more to it that we don't know yet.
I listened to Alabama alum Greg McElroy, former quarterback there, who has, I think, 2 degrees from Tuscaloosa. Here is what he had to say on how the university handled it yesterday.
I do not care about how this affects Alabama's basketball team moving forward. I don't care at all, to be honest with you. I care about justice for Jamia Harris, a 23-year-old mother who was shot down on the Strip in Tuscaloosa. That's what I care about.
And we're coming back to where we initially started the conversation yesterday as he referenced Jamia Harris. That's the whole thing that we can discuss, that needs to be discussed. I know this is a sports talk radio station. I know y'all want to know if Brandon Miller's playing on Saturday. We're going to get to that coming up. He played last night, had a career-high 41. But that's the biggest issue on all this. You got a 5-year-old son who doesn't have a mother anymore. That's where people have to come back to when it comes to discussing this.
But this happened over a month ago, and it was only when more was learned about Brandon Miller that anyone really cared to this magnitude on at least a national perspective. All right, we'll come back to it in hour 2. We're brought to you by World of Wireless. Our buddies at World of Wireless do so many things with home services, not just satellite services, but high-speed internet. Also now repair home central vacs and home vacuum systems. They do home automation with Google Nest and other home automation hub devices. So anything for the home to make it operate more smoothly and efficiently and make your life more hassle-free, World of Wireless can do. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for World of Wireless.
More conversation on this coming up, plus it's National Chili Day. We'll get into that in hour 2.
Semaglutide is a weight loss game changer. That's what the medical community is saying about the latest FDA-approved weight loss medication. Vici Aesthetics and Wellness is offering a detailed program to all of Arkansas, in-office or telemedicine visits available. So to schedule your medical consultation and get started on the #1 prescription choice by medical professionals for safe and effective weight loss while also reducing cardiovascular risk factors, call or text 479-343-8424. 479-343-8424.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Roger Scott for Leaf Guard. That's Leaf Guard Gutters, the only true one-piece seamless covered gutter system that's guaranteed to never ever clog that's on the market. And how important is that? If you have old regular gutters clogged with muck and mud and shingle grit, add some of this rainwater, toss in freezing temperatures, and now you got a disaster on your hands. That frozen concoction that's just hanging on could cost you big bucks if it rips away from your roof. Stop the insanity. Get Leaf Guard Gutters and rest easy. Act now and save your hard-earned money by taking advantage of the winter savings sale. Half off labor on a complete Leaf Guard gutter system. New orders only. Some restrictions may apply. This sale does not include material costs, so make sure you ask a sales associate for all the deets on that and the 18 months no interest financing, as well as senior and military discounts. The winter savings sale at Leaf Guard of Arkansas. Call them now at 501-664-5400 or visit leafguardandmore.com.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown bar district.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up, home. Drop off downtown bar district.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Huh. Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Your husband is pretty handy to have around. He makes the world's best mac and cheese. He's in the Tickle Monster Hall of Fame. And he can teach anyone how to throw strikes. But a busted pipe in a basement full of water?
Honey, I think we need a plumber.
Is a little out of his league. That's where a homeowner's policy from Shelter Insurance comes in handy. We'll help get your house back in order and your husband back to what he does best.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Barling.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, it's going to be sunny and much cooler. Our temperatures in the upper 50s north, mid-60s south. Partly cloudy and cold tonight. Overnight low near 30 north, right around the low 40s south. And there is a chance of seeing a few scattered showers across the south. High temperatures in the 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX, Paris Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
Miller doesn't technically hand the gun off. The gun is in the back seat of Miller's car, and Davis and Miles get the gun out.
Okay. Do we know who gun is registered to?
It was Darius Miles' gun.
Okay. Miller just had possession of it, correct?
Yeah, Miller had gone home because the line at the bar was too long.
Okay.
And then Darius texted him.
Okay, so he just simply brought it back?
He brought it back.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatOne.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
It's hour number 2 of the Morning Rush on a recruiting Thursday. The main story that we've been discussing this morning, Brandon Miller. You heard Paul Feinbaum have an AL.com reporter who was speaking to what's going on with the case yesterday. We'll talk more about that coming up in hour 2 of the Morning Rush, Tommy.
You know, of course, Arkansas and Alabama play on Saturday. 1 o'clock is the tip. If you're not going to be in front of the TV at the house, why don't you go to Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith to watch the game with your fellow Razorback fans? Be a great place to take the family for lunch. $1 tacos all day on Saturday. Plus, during the game, half-price apps and taps anytime the Hogs are on TV. They got some specials today on a Thursday. They got the taco burgers and the Bang Bang barbecue sandwiches on special for $8 and $9. And don't forget, for Fridays are Fajita Fridays at Joe's. So Joe's Grill and Cantina for every Hog game that's on TV. Half-price apps and taps. $1 tacos all day on Saturday. Joe's Grill and Cantina. They're on South 74th Street in Fort Smith.
So we know Brandon Miller was able to play last night, dropped a career-high 41, including the game winner.
Miller guarded by Gigi, 2 of the most highly touted freshmen in the country this year. Miller with 3. Miller to the rim. Miller with the left hand.
Some of us didn't know if he was going to play or not. Here's Nate Oates after the game, why he was able to play.
Well, as Greg said earlier, we make decisions based on available facts, and that's what we did here.
Oates there, Tommy, was speaking to his boss, his athletic director, Greg Byrne, and that ultimately led to the decision for Alabama to let Brandon Miller play last night.
So the College Game Day podcast, which Reese Davis was hosting yesterday, had Greg Byrne on. And, give Greg Byrne credit for stepping to the mic. It was a safe space, so to speak, knowing, Reese Davis, one of the premier guys on ESPN that
Bama alum,
has
by
spent
the way.
some time there. And well, yeah, should point that out, too. So it's a safe space for Greg Byrne to tell his side of what was going on. And, as you listen to that unfold in that we just saw a small snippet of it on the reports, but clearly they were getting a lot of facts from the legal process. I've got to believe they don't believe there are going to be charges, at least in the immediate future, for Brandon Miller. They would not have allowed him to play last night. So they're still they got a two-pronged problem. Brandon Miller's situation they're trying to figure out, and then the public problem, the public perception problem, court of public opinion problem for Nate Oates and the way he fumbled and bumbled the initial statements, which he tried to walk back by saying, I didn't have all the facts when I spoke. It was following practice. I can understand some of that. I can understand why Nate Oates didn't have it all together. I don't understand why his media relations people didn't have him ready for that. That's what I don't understand. That's their job.
If you watched the game last night, South Carolina students were chanting, lock him up, every time Brandon Miller had the basketball. That will be mildly to what he's going to experience if he continues to play. There are going to be some things said. If I had to guess, Christian and I were talking about this during the break, Tommy. There was an altercation between an Alabama fan and some South Carolina fans. If I had to guess, that was probably to do something with Brandon Miller. I was not there, didn't hear it. But this is going to be interesting to see when he goes to visiting venues, NCAA tournament, and anywhere basically outside of Coleman Coliseum, the reception he receives.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think what the fact that they're playing Arkansas at home is a big lift for Alabama. It'll be safer confines. Those chants won't be, I would imagine, being given in their building. But clearly they were distracted. They were off their game. I don't think if the news of the last 48 hours isn't out there, do you think South Carolina takes them to overtime? I mean, Bama was lucky to win. I think we all believe Bama would have rolled in that game. Would have been a highly unlikely upset that nearly occurred last night. So, does Alabama get their focus back and their attention back, or does this story continue to weigh heavy on this team? I mean, as a Razorback, we're hoping it weighs very heavy on them. But if the Hogs had them last night instead of Saturday, Arkansas would have won that game. And if Brandon Miller doesn't play last night, South Carolina wins that game.
Brian from Sherwood said there was a controversial call on a clean block shot at the end of the game. He believes Bama is protected on and off the court, Tommy.
Okay. I mean, that's what he believes. I can't, whatever.
William and Jones.
I don't know what you want me to say about that.
I figured you'd have a retort to that really quick when it was talking about referees, but I guess not.
I'll tell you this, and I don't know if they were originally scheduled, but they had a big time crew there last night. You had Doug Shows and Tony Green on that game. I don't know if that's the way it was originally scheduled or they made some moves considering all the stuff that was going on, but they had some heavy hitters working that game last night. I'll say that.
I thought Matt Jones said something interesting on halftime yesterday. He said when he was at Arkansas as the quarterback, Houston Nutt told the team that as a Razorback, you are guilty until proven innocent. And I think when a public figure of some sort, whether it's a student athlete, a professional athlete, a radio host, anyone that a lot of people know of and a name, is it fair to say that people initially slant guilty than non-guilty? Is that an assessment from my vantage point that's true in a lot of cases? When you see a public figure, you just automatically, they're probably guilty, but they're going to get away with it.
I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I think your own fan base, and we're seeing this with Miller, they just assume he's innocent no matter what the evidence says. I mean, it's got to be damning, overwhelming evidence in most cases for a star athlete on your team to be scorned in the court of public opinion. So I don't think that's exactly true, but it just goes along with the territory. When you sign up to be in the public light the way these athletes and coaches are, this is the scrutiny you sign up for. So it's one of the reasons, and they get coached up a lot from the time they step on campus about keeping your nose clean, if you will, because things far less consequential than this, where someone lost their lives, could certainly lead to a lot of issues. And we see it with DWIs, we see it with drug charges or possession charges of a variety of counts, and this whole situation goes to another level.
That brings me to my next point. Should college coaches and players be held to that higher standard than the rest of us? Like the idea that I was asking Richard about earlier in hour number one, is there still a belief that a head coach should be a father-like figure and a mentor to a young man when he gets onto campus, or is that just completely done with? Is that completely short-sighted on my part and I'm living in the past? I think that's a question you have to ask yourself this morning, not just with this Brandon Miller situation, but with other situations in the future and then the ones we've also talked about also here in Arkansas as well.
All right, we'll come back to more of that, plus our Morning Rush Daily Question coming up. Hey, I want to talk to the business owners and the business managers for a few minutes. Do you have a website for your business that you're proud of? Is yours 4, 5, 6 years old? If your website's older than the car you're driving, it's probably time for a new website. And if you're saying, hey, I use Facebook as my website, well, then you've answered the question. You don't have a website because Facebook controls that, not you. How about a website you can control, that you control the content, the way it looks? Everything's taken care of, from the hosting to the security to the writing to updates as needed, all the modules you'd need to run your business, and it's all done for $95 a month. Yeah, we got that solution for you with Modular Orange. 479-755-3043 is their number. 755-3043. Take your website to the next level with Matchstick Studios. Go to modularorange.com. 755-3043 is their number.
All right, Morning Rush Daily Question when we return.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from Tuning.
This is Clint Sterner, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design. Forest River.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I Think You've Got It. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Take advantage of York Factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products.
782-8940.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
So tying this conversation back to Arkansas basketball, Tucker brings up that Bama's game last night, they expanded a lot of energy trying to win. Tommy, you brought up yesterday that Bama has one less day to prepare for the Razorbacks, with Arkansas playing Tuesday night and then playing on Wednesday night. The question I have for us this morning, is there any way that Brandon Miller doesn't play on Saturday against Arkansas?
Something new would have to come out. I mean, is there a way? Sure. But it seems like unless there's new information, new evidence, or if somehow the prosecution changed their mind and filed charges, I guess this is with the grand jury as I understand it. I don't know that they would come back between now and close the business on Friday and raise those charges. So it would have to involve something new happening, it appears.
That's going to be a highly intense basketball game. We know that Nick Smith Jr. and Brandon Miller are friends. He mentioned that in the post-game press conference, so that will play a role in Saturday's matchup. And you still have a chance to knock off one of the best teams in the country, if not the best team in all of college basketball. And I cannot wait to see how that game plays out. Tommy, sometimes, and I think we talked about this with the Buffalo Bills, like the whole DeMar Hamlin thing and the emotional aspect of how much energy they had to exert during that first game, and then really played lethargically against the Cincinnati Bengals and kind of fell apart. I wonder if that same type of thing plays out on Saturday, where so much emotion was in Columbia last night from the Crimson Tide, and maybe they have a letdown against the Razorbacks come Saturday.
Or was last night a wake-up call a little bit that, hey, we got to get our focus back. And obviously Brandon Miller was pretty focused with 41. But as a team, it would be somewhat of a wake-up call. I can't imagine the preparation leading into that game, leading into the travel, was anywhere near the normal level. They don't have to travel, obviously, Saturday. They were back last night, presumably in Tuscaloosa. I would imagine there's a lot of circling of the wagons that continues to get this team back kind of in basketball operations, because all the I would imagine Nate Oates hadn't done a lot of coaching himself in the last 48 hours until the game last night.
Mm-hmm. This is the statement that UA Athletics put out, that they continue to cooperate fully with law enforcement on the ongoing investigation in the tragic situation. Based on all the information we have received, Brandon Miller is not considered a suspect in this case, only a cooperative witness. That is kind of what they put out yesterday, and that led Greg Byrne, Nate Oates, and the rest of whoever else has to give the okay for Miller to play last night. And like you said, I expect him to play on Saturday.
Okay, so let's take that at face value, and let's say what Alabama Athletics is saying is factually accurate. I have no reason to believe that that's not the case of what they've been told by prosecutors, police, or whoever they got all of that information from. If that's right, and that is accurate, let's assume it is for the sake of this conversation, tell me why Brandon Miller shouldn't play.
Well, what I brought up earlier is that when it sure seems like, based on what I've read, that Miller has been very cooperative in talking with police, sharing information, and anything else involving that. And I don't know, again, this is a better conversation for someone that has far more amount of knowledge of criminal law than I do. But, I mean, how much jurisdiction does the district attorney office have when it comes to deeming who and who they're not going to prosecute?
Total.
Okay.
Total. I mean, the prosecuting attorney or this district, that's who they do one of two things. They either file the charges themselves after they review the police file, or they refer it to the grand jury. I mean, they have total control over that process. So if you should read the words of that statement. Brandon Miller is not considered a suspect and just a cooperative witness.
Mm-hmm.
While the optics aren't good and public perception may not be good, particularly outside of the state of Alabama, how fair is it? I mean, if we just want to step back and not look at it from the case of, hey, Arkansas is playing them Saturday and you hope to win the game, and without Brandon Miller you got a better chance. I mean, that's the quiet part that we're all thinking. If you're not going to be charged with a crime and you're not considered a suspect, how fair is it to Brandon Miller to withhold him from that game? It's not.
Okay. So
But I understand the optics of all this. He's at least at an arm's length, and it seems to me that he's skirting a very fine line on what would be criminal charge and what is not. He has went right up to the line at a bare minimum. He's went right to the line and looked down on it.
Okay. And before we get to Tom, I just want to go back to the text that was again shared. Police testimony from Detective Culpepper that Miles texted Miller after 1 o'clock in the morning saying, "I need my joint," slang term for gun, a derogatory racial slur, just got a fake-in. Fake-in, according to Urban Dictionary, means threatened. So, again, if he's getting a text, and what Miller's attorney said is that he received that text when he was on the way to pick up Miles already from the nightclub.
So the answer, at least that I was looking for my question, was, yeah, he may not be charged with a crime, but there's still the difference in right and wrong. You got to know the difference between what's right and what's wrong. And like it or not, I think it's easy to apply some common sense here and say if Brandon Miller does not drive that gun over there, and maybe you can make the case he didn't know it was there, that's a stretch for me. If he doesn't deliver that gun, if he doesn't show up, that young lady probably doesn't lose her life that night. So just because prosecution doesn't move forward with the process in regards to Brandon Miller, there's just the simple question of what's right and wrong that was violated here. And is that enough to not let him play? That's not for me to decide, but that's certainly a question that should be on the table.
Yeah, and then, again, as we wrap this up, our, again, Morning Rush Daily question, if he received that text mid-drive, are you expecting him to all of a sudden either toss the gun out the window, drive it home, and then just pick up Miller? Are you saying he didn't receive? As you said, I don't know if he saw the text. I was thinking about this. I don't have a Bluetooth car, but a lot of people nowadays have their phone connected to Bluetooth, and you hear the text over the radio, essentially. I don't know if that – I don't know. That's just I have 50 million things that have popped in my head when it comes to this. And I guess until it fully develops, we can't 100% make a –
Listen, I know it's a different set of circumstances. I know we got to get to Tom. Hang on, Tom. We're coming. But Chris Beard wasn't charged with a crime. Different set of circumstances. He's still no longer the head coach at Texas. So, I don't think the threshold on each and every one of these matters has to be, was there charges filed? But we're looking at it through a different lens than the University of Alabama, who has a lot at stake. All right, that's your Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs. They are Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Now, let's talk to Tom Murphy on the Morning Rush.
Tom, any guesses what we're going to talk about this morning? I think you might have one.
No, I mean, it's the hot topic for sure, and I'm ready to roll on it. Good morning.
I think you provide an interesting perspective on this because you covered the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, I think if I remember your timeline correctly, was it 1 year of Nick Saban, and then you came here? Am I remembering that right?
Well, the timeline was his hiring, obviously, in that January, and the lead up to it when he's with the Dolphins saying, do I have to say it? I'm not going to be the Alabama coach. When all my sources were saying Malmore is waiting on Nick Saban and he's not going to move further until he gets the no from Nick Saban. So we had to wait out to the end of the season. But no, I covered that, the hiring and spring ball and a couple of days in camp. And so I came here in August of 2007 to pick up coverage of Houston Nutt's final camp and season.
I know, Tom, there's been turnover since then within the athletics department. I know in 2007, I guess that would have been Mark Gottfried, who would have been the head basketball coach. But kind of with your sources and the guys that you talk to still immediately are friends with, what have you made of all of this in the last 48 hours or so?
Yeah, well, I don't know Greg Byrne personally, so I saw his online deal with Reese Davis, an Alabama alum, yesterday, and the perspective they took obviously is that the kid hasn't been charged with anything, and but my take is this. What do we expect out of Brandon Miller? A 18, 19-year-old kid to make the right call and not show up or not do it. So I have colleagues who were adamant, and I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that Arkansas is their next opponent, but they're just adamant that you got to do some kind of suspension because the decision he made to show up. But do we think an 18 or 19-year-old kid should be able to go, I'm going to be the smarter man here. I'm not going to drive this car there. If you read the lawyer stuff, it's like, oh, he's a completely wholesome kid. He didn't know and all. And so I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. But the bottom line being, it's just an unfortunate and tragic event, and Nate Oates he was a little bit tone deaf when he gave his remarks on the first day. That is for sure. And it's not my place to say Alabama should have suspended him. The kid's not facing any charges, so you just have to deal with what comes.
Do you think when all of this is over, the season's over, whatever happens, and I don't think Alabama's winning the national title now. I'll say I'd be surprised if they get to the Final Four in light of all of this. I can't help but believe, Tom, pretty noticeable changes will be coming to their athletic department, I would think.
They've taken withering criticism from basically throughout the industry on their decision to. It's like they knew it. They knew that Miller had been there and the gun was in his car apparently, and decided to do nothing about it. And I think kids who have that kind of entourage about themselves. I mean, they've already got set up with, advisors and reps and all this, and the school doesn't want to lose any revenue. It's almost as if they get some kind of pass. And I'm not saying that happened here. I mean, if that had been a walk-on who had done that, would they have suspended him? Would they have booted him from the team? Maybe. We don't know.
Likely.
But it could be very likely. But I don't know. I hesitate to say whether or not there's going to be, firings or suspensions or anything.
And listen, we don't know, and I'm not interested in really finding out. But I got to believe that this same type of situation occurred, even with a star player in Alabama's football program. I've got to believe, and maybe I'm just naive, but the handling of it by Nick Saban would have been much different than what we've seen by Nate Oates.
You may be very well right. Although we know that Nick Saban's been a big second chance guy, we don't know what internal punishments there would be. But honestly, extra running and morning workouts and stuff really aren't. I don't think that's part of the response here. You know what I mean? Like sometimes
you didn't miss study hall here. You didn't miss study hall on this one. This is a little more severe than that.
Exactly. So here's the thing: a cloud's going to be hanging over Alabama for as long as they're alive in the NCAA tournament. They have an outstanding team that you watched them last night. The rest of the team was, I think, 13 for 37, so a really bad off night. But Brandon Miller showed up to play last night, almost seemingly motivated. When you looked at his body language and his reactions to the plays, almost as if I'll show everybody. And how about Meechie Johnson? He hits the half-court shot, and if he hits the second half-court shot in overtime, you got a huge upset on your hands.
Yeah, that was a great game last night. We're talking with Tom Murphy this morning, the Arkansas Democrat Gazette and Whole Hog Sports. Tom, you mentioned age there, and I think that's important when discussing all this. I was stupid at 18. I'm not going to sit here and tell you otherwise, but a question from Billy comes in this morning. I don't know how much Brandon Miller makes NIL-wise, but if we're trusting, and this is not just him, if we're trusting any young man or any young lady at 18 years old that they can be responsible enough to accept $1,500,000, $250,000, shouldn't that same standard be held across the board when it comes to other situations, especially something like this?
I don't know. I don't think the NIL money comes with the responsibility of doing everything right. And I'm a little bit more, I think, maybe lenient in that, can we assume that he knew the gun was in there? Well, that was in the text, so I think you can assume. But I don't know how many 18 or 19-year-olds would have made the very mature. We're all evaluating this well after the fact and at what our ages and our life experiences are like, and not what Brandon Miller's are. Now, do I wish that he had said, "No, man, I can't. If you got a beef with somebody, I can't show up with this gun. That's not going to help anything." I wish that's the decision he'd made, but he's also a teenager.
Mm-hmm. And Tom, I mentioned this in hour one. I've driven a buddy's vehicle that had a gun in it that I had no idea it was there, and then found out after the fact, and I ripped him for it. I was like, "You can't do that, man. You can't do that." So that's an example of my own life. I guess the question is, and we asked it earlier. I mean, based on what we've read, based on what we've heard, is there any chance that Brandon Miller doesn't suit up the rest of the way? I think he's going to play Saturday. Why wouldn't we believe he'd play the rest of the season?
Well, I think it depends on because you heard, I heard one of the commentators last night saying, I think it might have been Seth Greenberg on the call, that the decision, the disciplinary decision for him is something that the president and the chancellor, the board, and all that make. Well, what if the pressure to bear from the people they run with is that how can this puts U of A in a bad light? How can we deal with this? That maybe a decision is made on the board of trustee level that comes down to the president. I don't know if that will happen, but certainly those folks are hearing in their circles criticism about the university on how the whole incident was handled.
Yeah. Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, Whole Hog Sports with us on the Morning Rush. So let's move forward to that game. Arkansas plays Tuesday night. Alabama, as we've been talking last night. Big game for Arkansas Saturday. Looking to, I think you'd be all but solidified in the NCAA tournament with a win at Alabama. Let's talk about that contest. Nick Smith's back, scored 26. What has to happen for Arkansas to leave the state of Alabama Saturday with a victory?
Well, they held Miller down pretty well in the first game, and Devo Davis got a lot of that coverage. And it wasn't until he went around the screen, instead of, over it, that Miller hit a couple of threes that were huge. And I want to say Clowney hit one. And Alabama separated from what had been a pretty tight game to I want to say, out to about 9 points in just a short while. And then, Arkansas didn't have the 3-point capability to get back in that game. I think that you can't expect the same the other cast of Alabama to have another off night as they did at South Carolina. I think the crowd is going to be super motivated because they know it's a quality team coming in, and like it's the world against Alabama, and I think we're going to see a lot of that on Saturday. But I also think Arkansas can put forth a defensive game plan to try to slow Miller and give themselves a chance. But I'll tell you one of the biggest issues from last night's game was the way Alabama crashed the offensive boards. So many times they missed shots, they got them back. And so Arkansas has got to be a really strong rebounding team in that game. Devo's got to show up and really defend on Miller. And then they got to keep Sears. Sears really hurt him in that game with his dribble penetration. And so they've got to keep up their hot shooting. I have a sneaking suspicion they're going to give Alabama a really good run. And then also Arkansas has an extra day to prepare, and Alabama played a road game on the Wednesday night. So that's a little bit in Arkansas's favor.
How much do Nate Oates and Eric Musselman like each other? I get the feeling that it's a little bit tenuous between those two. What's your feeling on their professional relationship?
Yeah, I don't think they're taking summer trips together. And this is a high level D1 coaching deal right now between these two. That you're going after the same guys, and it's about your styles of play and how you represent your program. And this is a from what I gather, pretty testy relationship.
Yep. Tom, we'll leave it there, and we'll pick it up Tuesday morning when you join us again.
All right, sounds good. Enjoy it. Thanks.
All right, great stuff from Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, with us here Tuesdays and Thursdays on the Morning Rush. Summer boating season Ty, I know you like to go to the lake and you like to be on a good boat. And you really like it to be someone else's boat. It could be your boat.
I'd chip in for gas. Come on, Tommy.
Yeah, $5. I've seen your action. Hey, Wits Marine's having their big in-house boat show, and it begins today, runs through this weekend, and you don't want to miss the great inventory and the big selection of Regency and Sun Tracker pontoons, bass boats by Nitro, Tracker, and Triton Plus. Plus, they also got deck boats and runabouts by Tahoe, and they've got them all on display at Wits Marine. In a lot of new ways, it's the all-new Wits Marine. They got brand-new owners. Go by and meet Scott and Jeff this weekend. All-powered Mercuries come with gift cards ranging from $300 to $1,000 with purchase this weekend. And you can upgrade your current boat. If you like the boat you got, but you want to upgrade with a new motor, they can put you on a brand-new Mercury outboard. They can do all kinds of rigging, and they're great at service, too, so if you need some repairs, they're there for you. So don't miss the big boat show this weekend. It's all at Wits Marine. They're at 823 North 11th in Fort Smith. Stop in this weekend at Wits Marine in downtown Fort Smith.
Got our Hog Update coming up. I got 4 baseball tickets for tomorrow's game that we're giving away. Really appreciate Dennis sending those in yesterday, so we'll give those away in our Hog Update. You bring up the lake, Tommy. I cannot wait. We are only a few short months away from lake season. I know everyone has their one in particular. Now, I can't remember. Is it Norfolk or Bull Shoals where your boat's at? I can't remember.
Norfolk.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
We're near the North. We're on the Norfolk River at our river house, and then not far from the dam and the Quarry Marina and the lake side of it either.
There's so many great lakes. I mean, I'm a Ouachita boy. That's where I grew up going, and I love Hamilton too. I've been in Norfolk. I've never been to Bull Shoals. Then you've got I love going to Bieber with my NWA friends, and then 10 Killer as well. I know that's in Oklahoma, but this is we're getting closer.
Did you
man.
get them all? Did you name them all?
Yeah.
How about Lake Catherine? You been there? How about Greason?
Never been there.
Greason? All right, let's make sure we get them all.
I haven't been to Greer's Ferry since I was like a 9th grader. But I mean, when your buddies ask, "Hey, you want to go to lake this weekend?" You don't say no. You go. Like that's just something you do. I know it's a little bit more of a drive for you, but those places are pretty close in proximity. And man, we're only a few short months away from that being a reality.
Man, I like going up there, getting out on that lake. You know, Clay Henry gets out there and he takes his shirt off and does backflips off the top of the boat.
What a sight!
It is a sight to behold. I can tell you that. So, I mean, it'll be a little bit before the water warms up. I mean, it's February now, so it's time to start thinking about your boat and everything. But I don't know. I'm usually a mid-May. I mean, even Memorial Day. Sometimes the water might be a little too chilly in our state still.
It's National Wildlife Day. One of my favorite things is when we're out on the boat and like a bird, and I don't know what type of bird because I'm not really a big, what's the word? Not archaeologist, but whatever, geologist, whatever the study of animals is. Like I just like seeing birds fly over the lake. I always think that's like so cool. Such a cool view to just sit on either on the dock or the back porch or on the boat and see the animals fly over the lake.
It doesn't get any better than when you're on the White River or in the Norfolk River and an eagle flies over. I think you've seen that when the eagles kind of circle that. That's the best, and I really enjoy seeing that. Speaking of the White River, you can see that. I'm telling you, it's majestic, and those eagles like to hang around that river because, they might find them a fish. And when you see one swoop down, they're one of them trees that are near Gaston's, and they circle and they grab that fish and go back up to the tree. It is something awesome to witness, and that's one of the many cool things you'll see when on the White River. Gaston's is the place. They got the expert guides. I was sending some texts with Sean White this morning, one of their guides. He'd had a great trip with some of the customers there at Gaston's. Big browns are biting right now. And it's still, for the next few weeks, going to be a great time to get to Gaston's and get in on a shad kill that came through the dam. For those that know, you know, and now is a great time to be there during this shad kill. 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
This is Tony Bua, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design. Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
The college basketball season is heating up, which means it's time for the Wendy's Wooden Watch. You see, in 2002, I was honored to have received the John R. Wooden Player of the Year Award, which is presented to the country's most outstanding men's and women's player, who is also making progress towards earning a degree. This year, players like Drew Timme, Armando Bacot, Aaliyah Boston, and Caitlin Clark are vying for the trophy. So who will take it home? The 2023 John R. Wooden Men's and Women's Player of the Year is presented by Wendy's.
Wendy's 2 for $6 lets you mix and match some of our best items, like Dave's Single with a 10-piece crispy nugs, medium strawberry lemonade with a spicy chicken sandwich, spicy chicken with a Dave's Single with a strawberry lemonade, strawberry lemonade, if you're into that. Chicken Sam, crispy nugs, strawberry lemonade, Dave's, nugs, Sam. Whew. Pick what you want at a price you want. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's 2 for $6. For a limited time, price participation may vary at U.S. Wendy's. On the card only. Single item at regular price.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
What's new in 23 at the Golf Nut? Peen G430 woods and irons arriving January the 26th, and tailor-made Stealth 2 woods arriving February 17th. New Titleist Pro V1 will be in stock January the 24th. Book a time on their Hitty base with the TrackMan technology, or play a round of golf on one of their mini courses like Bethpage Black or Pebble Beach. Stop by the Golf Nut today, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Your #1 golf shop since 1994. If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today to schedule your consultation. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
It's a new year. Why not put a new-to-you vehicle in your driveway? Road Chevrolet wants to buy your vehicle today, and that means you can get out of your old ride and into a great car, truck, or SUV from Road Chevrolet. In fact, trucks starting at only $14,482. Yeah, trucks starting at $14,482. Find new roads. Road Chevrolet, just off I-540 exit 2A Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Coke Zero Sugar tastes so good, people will take a taste any way they can. You never know when your best friend will lunge across a table and grab for it. A stranger could subtly swipe it, or your little brother might just ask for one too many sips. So no matter what you're doing, or who you're with, when you're enjoying a Coke Zero Sugar, be ready to protect it from takers at all times. Because one sip begs the question, is this the best Coke ever? Take a taste and see.
Where can you get RV show pricing without the RV show crowd? Breen RV in Van Buren. This month only, we are paying your sales tax on all 22 trailers in stock. Save thousands from Forest River, Coachman, Keystone, and Thor. Don't worry about payments for 90 days. Get free maintenance for life and all of your state sales tax paid at Breen RV. Check out the new Sunray that weighs less than 2,000 pounds. Don't wait until spring. Come by Breen RV today and let us show you how easy it is to buy a new or used RV.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey. Oh,
yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Tommy, Jalen Williams doing what he did in college. He is currently leading the NBA right now in charges drawn per minutes played. The highest rate since 2016, since they started doing hustle stats. Playing for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I know him and Isaiah, short drive back to Fort Smith over All-Star Weekend. Looks like he took what he did in college and it's translating to the National Basketball Association.
You know, there's a lot more technique to it than I think we just realize. It's not just being tough and willing to take the body shot. You got to get your feet in the right spot. You got to have the quickness to get there and be a legal defender. There's a lot more basketball stuff going on there than we realize, and he should be credited with how good his defensive technique is to draw all those charges.
What do you think is more prevalent here in Arkansas? Oklahoma City Isaiah Joe jerseys or Jalen Williams? Which one do you think has more jerseys here in this state?
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna guess Jalen. I don't know. They're both crowd favorites, but I think Jalen. But in both from the same hometown. Mm-hmm. So maybe Isaiah's got I don't know. He hadn't been. They've been with his team about the same amount of time though. Even though Isaiah's been in the league a little longer, right?
Yeah, because Isaiah was a Philadelphia 76er.
Yeah, right. So I don't know how to. I bet they're both pretty popular in Arkansas though, and I'd like to see the Thunder winning. At higher level, and because when they were. Years ago, I mean, there was a lot more Thunder fans that kind of jumped on the bandwagon, particularly in the western half of the state. And I think with two Razorbacks, if that pans out, I think people will get fired up for Thunder basketball on the western side of the state.
I love that Jalen and Chet Holmgren are teammates. I know initially Jalen probably gave him a hard time for that Sweet 16 win over Gonzaga, and I would guess that's probably come up once or twice in that locker room. You probably got the same email I did, the 1 week to renew your football season tickets. Have you done that yet? I have not.
No, I need because the deadline's the 1st, so I've like I said, I got a week, so need to get that done. Just no sense in giving them their money any sooner, right?
How do you think season ticket sales are doing right now for football?
I probably got some work to do. Questions about the economy, questions about the team. Money's probably not flowing quite the way it was. The schedule's not as, bountiful, if you will, as it was a year ago. So I imagine my guess would be ticket sales are lagging behind where they'd like to be at this point.
It's weird that they're not opening in Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium, and instead they'll play their first game this season at War Memorial.
Does that even count, people? Does that help?
No, heck, no, it's a Little Rock guy talking. Of course it doesn't help.
Because when this happened, what, 3 or 4 years ago? Last time they were, it was almost like the season didn't open.
It was
like
didn't they play on Thursday night, Tommy? Didn't they play on Thursday?
Yeah, that's exactly. It's like okay, it's like we played an 11-game season that year, in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
it felt weird.
Yeah,
so
it did. All right, continue
on.
I
imagine this one will be much the same.
I agree. Continue on the football. Peyton Hill has put this out on social media that he has left the hospital and should make 100% recovery. So happy for the former Razorback and after what he dealt with the drowning and then saving his kids from the beach. But, Tommy, it looks like he's going to be okay.
Yeah, and that's good news. And that's a lengthy hospital stay, but playing for a full recovery. He didn't want to get into a lot of details what happened. He asked for some privacy for his family, but very fortunate outcome considering the circumstances.
More news for you this morning. You're back in Baum-Walker Stadium tomorrow against Eastern Illinois. Again, we're going to give away 2 pairs of 2 tickets for the game coming up at the end of this segment. Other things going on. Phil Elson has the call for Arkansas women's basketball as they'll take on Mississippi State. That game's also at 8 o'clock on the SEC Network. And then softball gets going today on the SEC Network. Plus, Courtney Deifel, the all-time winningest coach, will open up against Arizona today in a doubleheader tonight. They got, I think, 6 games this weekend for the Razorback Invitational in Bogle Park, Tommy.
Yeah, and people are excited. Season tickets are sold out. If you want to go to a softball game, they're Berm general admission seats out in the outfield, which I have not been to a game, but on TV or the stream, it looks like a lot of fun. So, the community is, in the Northwest Arkansas community is rallying around this softball team, and I imagine we're going to. I don't know how much expansion. The softball park's so much smaller in dimensions. I don't know how much more expansion they can do over there, but I imagine they're looking for ways to find more seats for fans around that park.
I think back to the phrase used in Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come. Well, she's building a heck of a program. They keep on with it, and you're going to have to find seats at some point. That's going to do it for your Hog Update. It is brought to you, as always, by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Tommy, we're givers on the Morning Rush, aren't we? We love to give things away. Well, I've got 4 tickets on my phone right now. The great thing about it, you don't have to come by and pick them up. I'll just text them to you. So we're going to give away 2 pairs of 2 tickets. Tommy, I'm going to let you pick the caller number for Christian. Same as yesterday. Give Christian your name, first and last name, where you're calling from, and your phone number. What callers are we going with this morning, Tommy?
Oh, let's see. Today is the 23rd, so let's split that and go callers 2 and 3.
Okay.
So.
I thought you were about to say 23.
Well, we could do that.
No,
well, listen, if we said 23, we would get 23 calls because these are hot commodities here.
Yeah. So, again, tomorrow's game, Eastern Illinois. I've got 2 pairs of 2 tickets thanks to a Morning Rush dedicated listener, Dennis, and he's willing to give them away, again, his Friday tickets. So make sure, like yesterday or like we did earlier this week, if you call in, make sure you can go. Don't buy or don't receive them and then try and sell them. If you're trying to call in, make sure you can go.
I'll tell you what, we'll do these tickets from Dennis now, and then I've got a couple more, and these are in great seats. Philip from Mount Ida texted me the other day. These are right behind the first base dugout, the ones we'll give away next hour. So we got some more for next hour that we'll give away. We'll even let you choose which day you'd like to go, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday when you call in. So
How about that?
We'll do that next hour as well.
We're just, again, we do our best to give things away when possible.
We want people there. If we can't use them ourselves, somebody might as well go and enjoy it.
These are Section 100 Row V Seat 16, so they are good seats. And, again,
that's down the first base line. I walked out to 100 the other day. That's a great vantage point out there.
I cannot wait. So Arkansas plays, of course, Kentucky next Saturday at home. I am going to go to Baum-Walker Stadium next Friday. I'm forgetting. Is that Illinois State next Friday? I'm forgetting who it was.
That's right.
Okay. That'll be the first game, Baum-Walker Stadium. Hopefully we'll have some good weather. I mean, you really, Tommy, we said it earlier, you couldn't ask for much better than you had opening day. I know you enjoyed that thoroughly.
It's Illinois State in the midweek game on the 1st, and then that weekend, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th is Wright State. So
Wright State. Okay.
You were a little ahead of yourself on the opponent, but you had it right. Illinois State, then Wright State next week.
No pun intended. Got it right.
Yeah, got it right. Hey, one place you can get it right is the Bet Saracen app. I was looking on there. They got college baseball and a lot of in-state games, a lot of things you can play. So if you think, well, a lot of apps and a lot of places don't put college baseball on there, not with Bet Saracen. So if you want to make the game a little interesting, a little fun, you can, and Bet Saracen has it for you. Of course, Major League Baseball is not far around the corner. And, before you know it, we'll be back to football and all the fun stuff there. Soccer is a big deal right now. So be sure and download that Bet Saracen app to have some fun during the game. We got a really cool video of how to play that you can watch as well. That's Bet Saracen. Go to BetSaracen.com to Download it and get all the details.
Congrats to Anthony Riggles in Rogers and Lee Whitworth in Alma. Jeez Louise, you're going to the game tomorrow. More of the Morning Rush. Clay Henry when we return.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Semaglutide is a weight loss game changer. That's what the medical community is saying about the latest FDA-approved weight loss medication. Vici Aesthetics and Wellness is offering a detailed program to all of Arkansas, in-office or telemedicine visits available. So to schedule your medical consultation and get started on the #1 prescription choice by medical professionals for safe and effective weight loss while also reducing cardiovascular risk factors, call or text 479-343-8424. 479-343-8424.
While most of us are familiar with the opioid epidemic, we forget about the threat we faced for decades, methamphetamine. Meth is our biggest drug threat, and the number of people dying each year continues to grow. It's destroying our communities. You know, you've seen it. It might not have been your kid or your parent, but it was someone you know. To find ways to help, go to meovermeth.org. Choose your community. Choose your family. Choose yourself. I choose me over meth.
This message is sponsored by the North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education and the Me Over Meth grant.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. For high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
Picture a can of paint. Now picture a professional painter. Now picture a can of paint from the paint store in Van Buren, perfectly applied by a professional or possibly you. Painting your house could be a pain, and people who think painting as a pain prefer professional paint and pointers from the paint store in Van Buren. The paint store has the best Richards paint and expertly picked colors specifically for you. Need a professional product or a professional? It's the paint store in Van Buren.
At Frank Rowe Furniture, spring is on the way, and Frank Rowe Furniture is ready. We have new arrivals on Made in the USA furniture at unbelievable prices. We have 2-piece sectionals starting at $13.49, recliners as low as $3.99, sofa and love starting at $13.99. Frank Rowe Furniture offers in-store no credit check financing with the manager approval or a Seaman financing or SNAP financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, your home for inflation elimination. We're on a mission to make used cars affordable for everyone. Our live market value pricing ensures you always get a great deal, and Rath Road Ready Reconditioning makes sure you always get a great vehicle. This month, we're making it even easier with up to $3,300 extra for your trade and prices up to $4,700 below retail. We know a lot of people have been waiting for just the right time to buy, and this is it. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center. And for a real hedge against rising prices, ask about our exclusive Meineke Miles service contracts and prepaid maintenance products. They could save you another 20%. If you're ready to save some real money on a quality used vehicle and experience a better way to drive, call, click, or come by today. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, the home of inflation elimination, just north of Phoenix on Towson or online at rathauto.com.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we can do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, it's going to be sunny and much cooler. Our temperatures in the upper 50s north, mid-60s south. Partly cloudy and cold tonight. An overnight low near 30 north, right around the low 40s south. And there is a chance of seeing a few scattered showers across the south. High temperatures in the 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Miller doesn't technically hand the gun off. The gun is in the back seat of Miller's car, and Davis and Miles get the gun out.
Okay. Do we know who gun is registered to?
It was Darius Miles' gun.
Okay. Miller just had possession of it, correct?
Yeah, Miller had gone home because the line at the bar was too long.
Okay.
And then Darius texted him.
Okay, so he just simply brought it back?
He brought it back.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
It's hour number 3 of the Morning Rush on a Recruiting Thursday. We've got a chance to talk with Richard Davenport, Tom Murphy, and now we'll get a chance to talk with Clay Henry, senior fellow and contributor at ESPN Arkansas. Get his thoughts on what's going on with Brandon Miller. Also got to ask him about chili, Tommy, since it is National Chili Day. I know that's big for all 3 of us.
Absolutely. Hey, speaking of great eats, Sassy's Barbecue's been keeping it sassy for over 13 years. Barbecue, catfish, burgers, and more. I bet if they made chili, it'd be really good, too. Take some of that brisket meat and put it in there. Anyway, moving on. They're going to have the game on Saturday at both locations. Hopefully the weather will warm back up. I know we've had a cool snap after being treated to some 70-degree weather the last couple of days. The patio would be great for watching the game on Saturday. So whether it's your tailgates this fall, a big watch party together for March Madness, or just a great meal on the patio or in their restaurant, nobody does it better than Sassy's. Barbecue, catfish, burgers, and more. Sassy's. Eat, drink, and be sassy.
Also want to, again, congratulate Lee and Alma and Anthony and Rogers, who just won the tickets for baseball. We'll give away a few more of those tomorrow, or later on this hour.
Now, let's talk to Clay Henry on the Morning Rush.
Clay, thanks for joining us as always, man. Really, it's not often that we shy away from Razorback conversations throughout this show, but all anyone wants to text or call in about is this Brandon Miller, and I guess it's pertinent to the Razorbacks since they play in Tuscaloosa on Saturday. But what have you made of all this in the last week or so?
Well, it seems like there was one train of thought that he ought to be suspended, the coach ought to be suspended for insensitive remarks, and now we've got another set of information that changes the dialogue a little bit, and some people don't want to walk back their original thought that he should be suspended, but based on what I see, he is unfortunately going to be viewed as doing something horrible by one set, fan base, and not so much by another fan base. I don't think that in the state of Alabama, they probably want him to play, guys.
Yeah. How fine is that line? I mean, we're not legal guys, but we've been around. How fine is the line on what Brandon Miller did?
Well, I think that you'd have to get into his mind to see what he did if it was really wrong. He's taking a gun to a friend in the middle of the night. That's wrong. But as far as is it against the law? Probably not. And did he, aid in a murder? I don't know. You'd have to get into his mind, and I don't think any of us are going to get there. I mean, I really don't.
I got a question on that. What if that gun was Brandon Miller's instead of who it was registered?
Well, it wasn't, Ty.
Well, what I'm asking, does that change it? Is the fact that it's Darius Miles' gun and not Brandon Miller's, is that
That's
change
your game. You play it, I'm not. It's not his gun. I mean, it's I hate to do that. I mean, it's like, it wasn't his gun, Ty. And, we were saying it was, and that was different. But it's not, and I don't think we should do that anymore. I mean, that's gone, and it's past. It was not his gun.
Well, who's we? I mean, I wasn't saying that because the initial report didn't say
I would say that 90% of the people were saying it's his gun, and they were wrong. I mean, I heard it. I heard it on the afternoon show yesterday, including, the hosts were talking about like that was his gun, and it wasn't. But we didn't know that, right? That all has changed.
I think in the initial AL.com report that came out in the detective's testimony, Detective Culpepper, I think they initially said it was Darius Miles' gun.
But I kept hearing people saying he brought his gun to him, and it was not correct.
Nonetheless, I think we'll forever view Brandon Miller differently, and
Yeah,
I think we view Nate Oates differently. And Brandon Miller's going to play a few more games, however many that is, now in Alabama, probably, 10 or less, somewhere in that neighborhood with postseason, and then he's going to move on. Probably be, one of the top picks in the NBA draft. Nate Oates is another question. And Clay, I want to ask you, do you view Nate Oates in the light of all this and how he handled it? And, you can make what you want of the remarks and what he knew at that point following a practice and a media session, but do you view Nate Oates as differently as a coach this morning?
Probably somewhat, yeah, I think so, and I think that everybody else is feeling the same way. And there's probably a lot of people in Alabama, that aren't Auburn fans that are like wished he'd handle it differently, but he's still our coach. But it's when he walks into an arena, he's gonna hear the boos, and maybe that's the way it should be too. He's the best player in the conference, and he got favor because he's the best player in the conference, in my opinion, by his coach.
Question. There's no question.
And
by the
it's
system.
Going to be what's really interesting, Tommy, is how is he going to be viewed? Not by us. This is the critical part. How will he be viewed when he goes into a home recruiting? Will mothers like that he stood up for a player, or will they not like that he might have been cavalier in his attitude about something that happened way past bedtime?
Yeah. Well, make no mistake, or at least in my mind, this is the beginning of the end for Nate Oates at Alabama. And it may not be in a few weeks. It may be another season or two, but it's exactly what you just said. And, I guess they could win the national title, and in recruiting circles maybe this is forgotten, and the transfer portal is so prominent in today's game. But I think we'll look back and in a year or two, because trust has been broken at some level between him and administration, probably with him and some of the fan base, and then also the recruiting base. I think this, whether it's a year from now or 2 years from now, but we'll trace it back to these moments and why Nate Oates won't be the coach for forever and ever, amen, at Bama.
I'll take you back to Nolan Richardson's time, which was really interesting. He had a great player, one of the best in program's history, leading scorer all-time, Todd Day, and disciplined him over an off-season incident and held him out of the first semester and then made him come off the bench for the second semester, the rest of the season. And I'm not. When all was said and done, not a lot was pinned on Todd, and that to me was was really interesting. Nolan, he completely went the other direction as opposed to what Nate Oates has done, and may have punished Todd past the point that he should have been.
And everybody wants to, well, our coach would have this, our coach. We don't have a lot of history with Eric Musselman and discipline items that we're aware of. I mean, the things that come to public light, and I'm certainly glad he's not having to deal with anything like this. But from the few things we do have examples of, it seems like he runs a much sterner, stricter system.
Well, Kamani Johnson was suspended in missed games because of an incident. I mean, there isn't any doubt about that.
Right.
And I'm sure Ty remembers that.
Mm-hmm.
And so when something happens, he reacts. When they miss practice or miss class for sure, or they're late for a shoot around, something happens. And if it happens in class attendance, something happens. And you are disciplined. And I think he's he is tough-minded, and he defers to what's right as far as the discipline, and it might hurt the team.
And this was on a much smaller scale, and we don't know what actually was behind the scenes. You remember earlier this year when I can't remember who asked him about Jalen Graham, and he's just like, nope, just didn't play, coach's decision. And people were under the impression that it was either something at practice or something. As you're saying, Clay, it sure seems like even in small situations, swift action is taken. But you brought up an interesting angle. What is the perception of parents that you're talking about on this? Like, what do you think a majority are thinking when it comes to this Brandon Miller situation? And they've potentially had a son that could play in Tuscaloosa at Alabama. How do you think they're thinking about this, or do we have to just wait till it all plays out before they make an assertion on this?
Yeah, I think it'll be both ways, but it will definitely be some that see what happened as a real problem. How many is it going to be another brand? Do they lose a Brandon Miller because of that? Perhaps.
Okay. Well,
I just think the game's moving so much closer to the portal than high school kids. That's where we're headed. Yeah, it'll have an impact because Brandon Millers don't come around every day. But
a 20-year-old doesn't even ask his mom and dad, right?
Right. I mean, just the portal. The portal's just, I think, going to be the dominant way most programs fill their roster moving forward.
Yeah, but if there is a Brandon Miller out there that has to go to school 1 year, do you get him or you don't? That's
correct.
I mean, he got this one, and they're going to win a championship because of it, right?
Yeah.
He's going to play. He is going to play.
Well, on that subject, Clay, and I remember, listen, you were spot on in the offseason. I remember you telling me and Tommy, Alabama's got a great recruiting class, bunch of 6'9", 6'10 guys, which Miller, I think, 6'9", Clowney's 6'10", because that's what Butch was telling you in the offseason. They've been great. I mean, Bama's the best team in the SEC. They're probably the best team in all of college basketball. But with this incident, how does that shape your rethinking on their ability to win the national championship and win the conference and maybe win it in Nashville?
It can go both ways, Ty, and you know that, and that's why you're asking the question. This can cause problems inside the team. It can cause the coach to be shaken and distracted, or it can cause this team to be galvanized more behind Brandon Miller. We don't know how the dynamics of this team work inside the locker room, whether they love him or they're jealous of him or what. So it'll be something to watch over the next 2 weeks. They still got all their bullets, and I'm sorry for using that phrase, but they got them all. And they're really good, and I haven't seen, I watched the Tennessee game, could see that coming. That was, but that on a neutral floor, they're the best team. And I don't think Houston has played near the schedule that Alabama has. They might win on a neutral floor when they play again. Hard to beat a really good team twice.
Saturday's the big day for Bama from my seat, not just because they're playing Arkansas, but because of the way they performed last night. Worst team in the conference, they go to their place, and South Carolina takes them to overtime. That can be easily explained away by the distraction of what happened leading up to that game. You make it 2 in a row against a much better Arkansas team. Now there's real questions and self-doubt and problems creeping in for Alabama. I think Saturday's a sentinel moment for Nate Oates, this program, and how they come out and what level they play at against the Razorbacks.
2 things to watch for. Yeah, what happens on the court. The other is what happens in the stands. Are all their people there? Are they supportive?
Good point.
Is their stomach just turned inside out by disgust? I would suspect they're all going to be there, and they're going to support their team, and they're going to support Brandon Miller. It's really an interesting thing when you ask a fan of one team, how do you view this? Well, we're all with distaste, right? I mean, I feel that way. Ty, you probably. I'm asking. I don't know. Is this distasteful for you with what's happened?
Yeah, I mean, I can't claim my whole thing's been all morning. I can't get over the text that was sent to him, and then from Darius Miles, I need my joint gun, a derogatory slang, racist term. Just got a fakin', which fakin', according to Urban Dictionary, means threaten. I can't get over that portion of this, that he needs his gun because he feels threatened. And my understanding is that Brandon received that while he was driving. I don't know how you don't read that. Maybe he didn't. Maybe I'm wrong on that. That's the whole argument that I cannot get over in the course of this conversation.
Yeah, I had a hard time really figuring out all the meaning of that. And
me too,
what goes on in their world. Their world is different than my world. There's no doubt that how they live and how I live, I'm talking about young basketball players in their world, and it's different than what mine is and yours is. And I mean, I think that's true.
I heard joint, and I thought something else.
Yeah, blunt.
I don't know.
Yeah,
like weed. That's what I initially thought too, Tommy. Not
that college students would partake in anything.
No, I never did that. No one ever did that.
Hey, boys, we love lake season, don't we? It's coming up, and Wits Marine this weekend's got their big in-house boat show going on in Fort Smith. So if you're looking for a brand-new pontoon or a bass boat, they've got them. They got Regency and Sun Tracker pontoons, bass boats by Nitro, Tracker, and Triton. Those are made right up in Clay Henry's backyard, made right here in Arkansas. A lot of these same boats we're talking about. They got deck boats by Runabout and also Tahoe as well, deck boats that you can enjoy. So if you're looking for a great deal on a boat, plus you can get gift cards from Mercury for $300 to $1,000 with a purchase this weekend, or you want to upgrade your boat or your Mercury outboard, they can do it for you at Wits Marine. So stop in for the in-house boat show. Great pricing this weekend. That's all at Wits Marine. They are at 823 North 11th in Fort Smith. Find them on Facebook for more details about the in-house boat show this weekend.
Clay, I heard a bowl in the background. Have you already made chili this morning on National Chili Day, or do you plan on doing that at any point?
I made chili about 5 days ago, and it's ready to be reheated. It's better the second time.
You and Tommy agree on that.
Without question,
kind
it's
of
better.
super
It kind of
sauce.
marinates, doesn't it, Tommy?
Yeah. I mean, whether it's spaghetti sauce, chili, gumbo, soup, it's always better day 2, 3, 4.
I made bacon and biscuits this morning. No chili in the morning.
No chili in the morning.
I've got my favorite way for chili the second time. I've got some Nathan's Colossal hot dogs. Do you know what a Colossal hot dog is?
I used to make Nathan's hot dogs at one of my old jobs, Clay, but I can't say I know the Colossal aspect.
Well,
of
it's about twice as big as a regular hot dog.
Okay.
So
Probably get them at Sam's, don't you?
No, you can get it at Walmart and Harps.
Okay.
They've got them, and it disgusts my wife's. She's her thought is that I won't be here for long. I keep eating.
She's worried about your cholesterol.
Chili dog
isn't she?
with cheese and mustard on top of it, and
yeah.
You only need one of these. One's enough, and you put it between bread, and then you lay it along the chili, and then you put a little cheese, and you put a little mustard, and it's a chili cheese dog.
So are you a beans or no beans in chili guy?
Well, I always have
what you
beans,
ask.
and I usually have two kinds of chili beans. I usually have some black beans and some kidney beans.
All right. I usually go. You ever eat those ranch style beans? They come in the black can. That's the name
I don't put
brand.
those in chili, but I do eat those. Yeah.
I use those in chili. They had a
that's
had
fine.
nice flavor to it.
That's your touch. And I do. I mince some garlic cloves, and then I mince some jalapeno pepper skins, and saute those, and then put them in there. And then I put a little garlic powder, and sometimes I'll put a can of mild Rotel. It gives you a little more stuff, a little more ingredients, and adds to the whole quantity so that you got feed a few more people. And usually I get some diced tomatoes.
The reality is when you make chili, Ty, and Clay can probably affirm this for me, no two pots are the same. You never make, you don't really have a recipe. You just kind of start making chili, and you don't really follow an index card. It never quite the same, but you just find out what you like, and you just keep going.
I made chili with chocolate, had a little cocoa in it. It didn't go great. I was just thinking it wasn't bad, but it wasn't it was different, and it wasn't what I wanted. Everybody else thought it was pretty good, and I've been asked to do before. And there's some people that like chocolate gravy, and this wasn't anything close to that.
Yeah.
I'm not a chocolate gravy guy.
See, TC in Fayetteville texted, he says he likes the cocoa in his.
It's something different,
mm-hmm.
and it's got it's a unique flavor, and when you have it, that's what it is.
Justin on the ranch style beans, Tommy, he says to get the jalapeno ones. I know you like jalapenos, so maybe that's the way to go.
Absolutely, because it marinates in that sauce. So now. My wife we're doing chili dogs because there's, the kids like that. She has a hot dog chili she makes that doesn't have beans. It's got more mustard and ketchup in it. And it's kind of a finer. You chop the meat real fine. And
you got it.
If you're doing chili dogs, it is a really good. It's not as
it's almost like
as
a little
hearty.
Sloppy Joe mix, yeah.
A little more, a little thinner, but it's really tasty. So.
Yeah,
and,
but this is already something that I've got, so I don't have to do anything else with it.
No. I mean, I like the heartier, beefier chili. Yeah.
I still remember, Tommy, when I ate the 8 chili dogs on this show and how bad I felt after that. But you said I couldn't do it, and I just wanted to prove you wrong. So that's
I don't think you could do it today.
I bet I could, but I'm not going to easily. But yeah, no, it's hard to beat a good chili cheese coney. It's very difficult.
There was a Coney Island place across the street from the Tulsa World, so for dinner. A lot of us would go over there, and we got fire dogs, is what we called them. They have onions on the top, and this Greek guy made them, and we would get 6. Now, that sounds like a lot, but you have to remember they're not very long. Their version of a hot dog is not as long, and the buns aren't as long. I don't know how they get those little bitty, chili dogs, but 6 was just a good meal for us.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of chili, making some chili around the campfire sounds good, and that's what you can do with Wheels RV. They can put you on the front row at your favorite state park and get your campfire going, make you a pot of chili. That sounds good right now. Wheels sells memories. That's what they really do. I know it's RVs, but it's memories, trips that you'll remember forever. All the top brands, best prices, RV show pricing right now. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is Jarius Riding. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I Think You've Got It. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
First bet. Download the Bentley Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Bentley.com. With Bentley, every game matters. Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low-mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I appreciate, Ty, you and Tommy having me on this morning. It's always great to join the morning rush.
Forward to the rim, feeds Blake, layup good, and they fouled him.
And they fouled him. Lawson Blake gets the bucket. Fouled by Abdur Rahim, and it's going to be an and one with 27 seconds to play.
Please rate and review the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Give us 5 stars to help us get our content out to the rest of the Razorback family. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
I want to get into this Gary Parrish clip coming up, kind of what he said on this whole matter dealing with Brandon Miller. Again, Arkansas takes on Alabama this Saturday. Should be an intense game. Nick Smith Jr. and Brandon Miller are friends. He mentioned that after the game on Tuesday night. We're going to talk more about this situation coming up.
You know, we talk about National Chili Day. You know, one of the things you can do if you make your chili the right way is make it a good, low-carb, high-protein chili. And that's what I'm trying to do right now because with the help of the folks at Beachy Aesthetics and Wellness and the use of semaglutide, an FDA-prescribed medicine that they're going to give you with their doctors supervising the whole program, I've managed to lose 12 pounds in 3 weeks. I heard Ruskin say he's down 15 pounds since he started. So if you're looking for some help, thank you. Got many more to go. If you're looking for some help, you're like, man, I'm getting up in my 40s. Clay knows this. The older you get, it's a little harder to shed those pounds, and sometimes we need a little help. And that's where semaglutide from Beachy Aesthetics and Wellness. I've heard from several of you that listen that have signed up and already seen, 3-4 pounds a week loss. This is a great program. You're not as hungry. Over the long haul, it's going to regulate your blood sugar. It's going to slow down your appetite. You're going to make better choices. And you're going to feel better when it's all said and done. I'm hoping to get 30 to 40 pounds off over the course of 12 or so weeks. So if this sounds like a program that could help you, and if you're like me, you need a little bit of help losing some weight, semaglutide is a game changer. 479-343-8424 is the number for Beachy Aesthetics and Wellness. 479-343-8424. You'll be supervised by a doctor from the very beginning, and you'll have weekly check-ins with the staff there at Beachy Aesthetics and Wellness. 479-343-8424. And last thing, no matter where you're listening, this will work for you because they even do telemedicine. So if you're listening in Little Rock, you're listening in Jonesboro or Hot Springs, call them anyway because they can do everything telemedicine and get it to you. 479-343-8424 to schedule your consultation at Beachy Aesthetics and Wellness.
Let's talk to Sterling in Center Ridge this morning. Sterling, you got some thoughts on this Brandon Miller debacle?
Yeah, I'm kind of like Richard. I don't know all the laws and everything, but I'm just going by what I heard from Alabama. And they said that he's not involved in the he's a witness of or giving testimony. I mean, giving his accounts of what have not that he's not a part of the murder. And if that's the case, I don't understand why somebody would want him suspended. Surely, law enforcement, the University of Alabama, have dotted their I's and crossed their T's on this matter and investigated, and that's why they allowed him to play. I always thought that we were supposed to be innocent until proven guilty and at least have enough evidence to charge or arrest. If you don't have that, I don't. It's just more. It's more about optics, and I know optics is a big deal, but you can't put people in jail because of optics or suspend people because.
No, but Sterling, you can keep from playing in a basketball game because of optics, and sometimes just handling things the right way. That's one thing that has been asked is why is he still on the court? And you don't always have to rise to the level of being formally charged with something to not be given the privilege to play.
I mean, but so like I said, I don't know about the text. I was looking up stuff in the Urban Dictionary to find out what stuff means. So I'm just saying, if you don't know what they're talking about, how can you get on there? I ain't trying to take up for the guy by no means. I mean, I'm just saying, I hate people getting judged. For instance, like Michael Irvin, I hate people getting suspended, getting take off stuff when maybe they didn't do anything wrong. And I ain't saying he didn't do anything wrong by by finishing this gun. But what I am saying, I done had a gun, and at a younger age, I can see myself giving somebody a gun, and they do something wrong with it. I wouldn't want to pay the consequences for something I didn't know that was going to happen. That's all I'm saying. You get what I'm getting at?
I do. And
if I give Clay a gun, and I'm thinking Clay going to go to the range, I'm thinking Clay going to have target practice. I'm just saying.
But you're not going to give Clay.
He's going to do that.
Not shoot.
Clay's not calling you at midnight or 1 a.m. to bring him a gun to go to the range.
But you see what I'm saying? I'm saying if he didn't know that was going to happen. Now, if he knew that was going to happen, of course he's an accomplice. But if he doesn't know, and that's what you got to prove. To me, what you got to prove.
What can you prove? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sterling, I hear you. I mean, but the optics of it. I mean, I agree. You don't put people in jail for optics, but and I'm not saying necessarily that with what we've learned, should he be suspended? But playing basketball is a privilege, not a right. And Chris Beard ultimately wasn't charged with the domestic assault, but in the end, he's no longer the coach at Texas because of all of the optics and what we did learn out of all this. APAC Arcola has immediate openings right now in Northwest Arkansas. If you're a CDL licensed driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, experience on a job site, they'd love to talk to you. Go to jobs.crh.com to apply. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is a equal opportunity employer.
All right, when we return, we will get into our SEC update. Alabama and Brandon Miller got an overtime win in Columbia, South Carolina last night. Some of the other games, LSU finally got a win for the first time since they played Arkansas. All that's coming up on the Morning Rush.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is former Razorback kicker Zach Hawker. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Just watching her blonde hair, sunburn, stare at them white caps rolling over.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
I am not who you say I am. I'm a pastor.
I am a caregiver.
I am a father.
I am a friend.
I'm a doctor.
Chances are someone you know and love is struggling with substance use disorder, but recovery is possible. Help starts when we stop stigma, view each other with compassion, and reach out for help. Call 1-800-622-HELP to get started. This message sponsored by the North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education and supported by grant number 2018-AR-BX-K085 awarded by the Bureau of Justice Assistance.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
It's a new year. Why not put a new to you vehicle in your driveway? Road Chevrolet wants to buy your vehicle today, and that means you can get out of your old ride and into a great car, truck, or SUV from Road Chevrolet. In fact, trucks starting at only $14,482. Yeah, trucks starting at $14,482. Find new roads. Road Chevrolet, just off I-540 exit 2A Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
With kids, school, work, and home, my life is very complicated. I have no time to waste. That's why Jody's is my place for my car. They have pickup and delivery and free shuttle service. I don't have time for waiting rooms. They do everything, even the technical stuff, and coupons to save me money. Jody's. That's all.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we can do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote. Get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbor since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Hey, Wes? Hey, it's for horses. Are my ears that long? Don't answer that. What's the deal with our cheese? The cheese is from Wisconsin. Okay, so what? Ain't cheese just cheese? Billy, I'm from Wisconsin. Not to be rude, Wes, but who cares? Wisconsin cows make for better cheese. Aren't cows just cows? Don't they have cows out in California? Wisconsin cows are better because of the ice. Ain't there 4 ice in California? Ice, not eyes. The ice is the difference? Do cows skate or something? Do they play hockey too? Oh, blessed Billy. How does they put them their skates on them?
Jim's Razorback Pizza uses cheese from ice hockey playing cows from Wisconsin. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, your home for inflation elimination. We're on a mission to make used cars affordable for everyone. Our live market value pricing ensures you always get a great deal, and Rath Road Ready Reconditioning makes sure you always get a great vehicle. This month, we're making it even easier with up to $3,300 extra for your trade and prices up to $4,700 below retail. We know a lot of people have been waiting for just the right time to buy, and this is it. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center. And for a real hedge against rising prices, ask about our exclusive Meineke Miles service contracts and prepaid maintenance products. They could save you another 20%. If you're ready to save some real money on a quality used vehicle and experience a better way to drive, call, click, or come by today. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, the home of inflation elimination, just north of Phoenix on Towson or online at rathauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
Tommy, were you watching the Florida and Kentucky game last night by chance?
Oh, the highlights. I did not watch the game, but I did see the highlights last night.
Did you see the fan, the Florida idiot fan that hook and hold on Case and Wallace?
That was a clothesline. It looked like something out of WWE. I mean,
I'll give Case credit for not reacting like I would have if I was on a college basketball team and a fan grabbed me from the side. So for those that don't know, maybe you're sitting here this morning listening saying, Ty, what the heck are you talking about? In Gainesville last night, Case and Wallace, 5-star young man for Kentucky, is near the sidelines, and I think Kentucky just got a steal or something. He's trying to run the other way. 2 Florida fans grab him or something. One was removed. It was just one of the most odd things I've ever seen during the course of a college basketball game.
Well, it wasn't premeditated or planned. He just grabbed the guy, and I'll be honest. I'm surprised this hasn't happened more in college basketball as we put fans closer to the action. Generally, those seats come with some unlimited access to adult libations at times. You pay a premium for it, and sometimes you get a drunken fool up front. I don't know if that's what happened, just the moment, testosterone flowing, but I'm surprised we haven't had more incidents between the people on the floor and the people sitting that paid lots of money to sit right next to the floor.
I know Florida's probably only got 1 or 2 home games left, but should that guy be allowed in Azteca Arena next year, or is that too harsh?
I think that may be too harsh. Maybe he doesn't need to sit on the front row, and I would imagine he's embarrassed, and I don't know the guy, but I imagine, now that cooler heads have prevailed, he probably wishes he hadn't done it. But, you see some of the same faces. You see a lot of rotating faces on those seats, at least at the University of Arkansas. And, Yeah, it's prime real estate. But I'm glad something like that hadn't happened at Arkansas. But if it did at some point, it wouldn't be a surprise. It's just inevitable when you put fans that close to the action.
So Kentucky prevails in Florida. They get a win over the Gators. LSU, for the first time since they beat you, gets a win in conference play. They beat Vanderbilt 84-77. As we've said throughout the morning, Alabama beats South Carolina 78-76 in OT. And then Auburn holds off Ole Miss in the Jungle 78-74.
All right, so that's your SEC update. It's brought to you by CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers this morning. Ty, I'm in Fayetteville. Boy, a great place to go before or after a game or just for lunch today would be to CJ's, and they have 2 locations in our state.
Yeah, in Fayetteville at the Weddington location and Russellville at the Arkansas Avenue location. Now, you can always take CJ's home with you with the Butcher Boy Burger seasoning. I have it in my house. I use it on my chicken every single week. It's fantastic. Chicken, burgers, fries, chips. It doesn't matter. You can get your local Harps. You can also get it at both locations. In addition to that, you can, of course, stop for their great burgers, fries, shakes. Tommy and I are both fans of the chicken sandwich when we're trying something a little healthier. The grilled chicken there is phenomenal. It is awesome. And Tommy's a grill.
You can do a salad. You can even get that salad there at CJ's.
Yep. You can do a salad with the burger or the grilled chicken. But, again, the burgers are phenomenal. And I always get envious anytime Keith puts anything on Instagram, either a picture or a video. It has me wanting to drive to CJ's immediately. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best, and they are at CJ's.
You know what the C stands for in CJ's, don't you?
I have no idea.
Cheat day.
Cheat day.
So when you got a cheat day on your diet, you go to CJ's.
It's basically the weekend. Now, Tommy and I also like to get the bacon on our burger or our chicken sandwich at times. Tommy, did you hear the what happened in Blacksburg earlier this week? I know our boss Bruce did. Did you hear what happened in Blacksburg earlier this week?
Nope. Tell me.
So students were so excited when this happened.
In the NCAA tournament for sure. Now they have some vulnerabilities. We got to get this here. After Jordan Miller missed that free throw, the crowd's going nuts. Here's why. If he misses the second one, everybody in this house gets free bacon. Bacon for everybody! Sizzled up in the frying pan!
That was Reese Davis, who you heard on the call of that game. In Blacksburg, they're playing Miami, and they missed 2 consecutive free throws. Whole house got free bacon, Tommy.
So if an opponent misses consecutive free throws, boy, I'm telling you, they'd like the Razorbacks to come up there and play because we don't shoot free throws very good.
Brick City, yeah. Come on, U of A mark. What? U of A
Petty Jean. Need some of that Petty Jean peppered bacon.
Yeah.
Come on now.
They give away something. I can't remember what it is. I think it might be chicken fries, but that's something, as you heard. I mean, that's probably the loudest that venue got all day long or all night long when the free bacon was distributed and given to fans, Hokie fans out there.
I mean, if you don't like bacon, I just don't know if we could be friends, right? I mean, how can you not like bacon?
I like bacon. It's fantastic. Put it on pretty much anything.
Tell me anything bacon doesn't make better.
I'd be sitting here silent the rest of the show, and I couldn't think of anything. I legitimately don't know if I can name something that makes better. The pizzas we had in St. Louis, one of the places we went to, was famous for their bacon. We had bacon pepperoni pizza, and it was good.
Did the bacon make it better?
Absolutely. Of course it did. Of course it did. Oh, wanted to get that in there as we close out the show. Well, of course, the conversation this morning has been centered around Brandon Miller. I wanted to close today with what Gary Parrish had to say, and to me, it's pretty spot on.
Brandon Miller was driving around Tuscaloosa with a gun in his car. His teammate indicated to him via text message, "I'm having an altercation with somebody, bring me the gun." And Brandon Miller drove a car with that gun to that place, and then that gun was very shortly thereafter used to kill a woman. Everything I just said is true. I do not understand how anybody could think that's just no big deal. Look, I've been covering this sport for more than 20 years. I have seen players get suspended for smoking weed, for skipping class, for breaking curfew. You cannot with a straight face tell me that driving around with a gun in your car and then bringing that gun to a place where it was very quickly used to kill a woman, is it some violation of some rule in your program? And if you don't have a rule in your program that covers that, then I don't know what kind of program you're running.
What do you think about his thoughts there, Tommy?
Tell me what he said is wrong. I mean, again, I understand there's law, and he may be flirting with the law and what's criminal and not. But I don't think anyone that's reasonable, that's not biased by their fandom, could say what Brandon Miller did was right, that he did the right thing. And there's still the difference in right and wrong. In some things, it doesn't have the consequences or bear the response because the consequence didn't rise to this level. In this case, someone died. They lost their life. They leave a family behind. They leave a child behind without a mother. And I don't want to overstate or make it too dramatic, but that's reality. And I can't think of anything that'd be more harmful than, you lost your mother at a young age. That's impacted your life every day, hasn't it? Different circumstances, but it's a huge part of who you are. That child's in the same situation for far different circumstances. And I don't think anyone of reasonable thought could think that if Brandon Miller doesn't go there that night and that gun's not delivered, that woman's not likely still alive today. Yeah, there's difference between legal and illegal, but there's also right and wrong. And what Brandon Miller did was wrong.
I think on that note, I honestly hadn't thought about it from that vantage point of perspective in my own. And the son now has lost his when he was 5. I lost my mom to cancer when I was 7. So as someone that's gone through that, and I know a lot of us listening right now.
Has anything impacted your life more?
Nope. And mine, and not to say that mine wasn't tragic. I've
sure it was, but it was different circumstances.
It's different, and murder's worse than cancer. It's just the reality of the situation.
But the result's the same, and I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but the reality is the result's the same. You grew up from 7 years old through the rest of till to this day without your mom, and that's I can't think of anything. I've never asked you that question, and I hate to do it on the radio, but I can't think of anything that would have impacted your life more than that event. I don't know the young man, but what the report said, he was 5?
Yeah, he's 5 years old.
Nothing's going to impact his life more than what happened that night, and I've got to believe if Brandon Miller doesn't show up that night, knowing that gun's in that car, that he still has his mom. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think about things like that differently as a parent than I did before I had kids. It's been a long time, but that's the true victim in all of this is that kid that's left behind without his mom.
Yeah, and it's a situation where there's a lot of opinions on it, and there's probably still some information that needs to surface or that will surface in the coming days, coming weeks, maybe a month or so. But I know for that family and anyone else that knew her or the son, it's just difficult to fathom how Brandon Miller's able to play. And listen, I don't think I didn't do this yesterday, and I haven't done it once today. I don't think I've said I've advocated for him to be arrested or charged or anything like that, anything to that degree. But I have to think, and maybe I'm completely false on this, I have to think Eric, if he was presented with something like this, Eric Musselman, your head basketball coach, Hunter Yurachek, your athletics director, that they would at least hold out that said player until this was done. And this may take a while, well after the NCAA tournament. And Arkansas basketball has had a lot of success the last 2 years, and it's been awesome because you had basically a 20-year drought. I know there's not, but I have to think that it would happen differently in Fayetteville, Arkansas than it is in Tuscaloosa, Alabama right now.
All right, shifting gears here just a second before we go on. I'll remind you, WT Equipment. They're our good friends over here in Springdale, and they're also in Searcy, and they're in Rogers and Berryville, and they got 8 locations across Arkansas and Louisiana. And I know for those that are in the agricultural business, spring planting's coming up. For those in the construction business, it never stops. And if you're looking for great equipment, they've got New Holland agricultural and construction equipment, and they got great deals right now as well. They even got used equipment as well. So if you're ready to invest in agricultural or construction equipment, Stop by a WT equipment location near you. Find one online at WTEquip.com. That's WTEquip.com.
By the way, my dad's listening this morning, Tommy. He said, and this is his buddy Chris Sorvillo, who's nicknamed the Italian. Apparently, the Italian doesn't like bacon. That is the first person, I think, on planet Earth that I have met that does not enjoy bacon.
Reevaluate that relationship.
Chris is a nice guy. I love Chris Sorvillo, but apparently the Italian.
Can you trust a person that doesn't like bacon?
I don't know. I guess my dad might have to reevaluate that with Chris. No, I love Chris. He's a great guy. He was one of the guys that my dad went to games with back in the day. All right, we'll have more reaction on this tomorrow with Chuck. He'll rejoin us. I know he's got some thoughts after yesterday, more initial statements. If I had to guess, unless something wild happens, you're going to have to play Brandon Miller on Saturday. Hopefully he doesn't go for 41. Devo shut him out in the first half. Hopefully he can shut him out in the full game. He played intense last night. We'll see what kind of mentality he has in Tuscaloosa on Saturday. For Tommy Kraft, Richard Davenport, Tom Murphy, Clay Henry, and Christian Johnston, I'm Ty Richardson. Enjoy your Thursday. We'll talk to you tomorrow on a Fast Break Friday.
Joe Klein here for Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
You bet it is, Joe, which means Bet Saracen has everything you're looking for and more right there on your cell phone.
Now everyone can get in the game and follow